Deep in the quiet of the universe, a shadow is growing in a way that seems faster than light. It is not racing through space. It is making space fall inward. Physicists call it a supermassive black hole. But it is more than a name. It is a mirror where shapes dissolve and the unseen begins to speak. Imagine light itself, the swiftest thing we know, caught and held. No escape, no struggle, only a hush so complete that time bends to it. Within that hush, something swells, calmly rewriting the rules we thought were absolute. What is truly happening at that edge, where night becomes geometry? Tonight we drift to the boundary called the event horizon, to the river of falling space, the glowing storm of accretion, and the reason a black hole can appear to outgrow light's limit without breaking Einstein's promise. You do not have to solve it. You only have to listen. Because the largest truths in the cosmos are not always seen, they are felt. Breathe in, let your thoughts loosen. Out beyond the noise, a patient heartbeat moves through space-time. The black hole is breathing, and in that breath, steady, quiet, irresistible, you may hear your own. Before light was born, the universe was an infinite silence. No stars, no galaxies, no notion of before or after. Only an absolute state. A stillness so condensed that even time itself had not yet been born to measure it. Physicists call it a singularity, the point where every familiar law dissolves, where energy, space, and matter blend together in the first kiss of existence. If we listen deeply into that darkness, we might imagine it as a breath held too long in the chest of the cosmos, an inhale stretched toward infinity, waiting for the moment of release. Then suddenly, not an explosion, but an expansion, silent and unstoppable, like ripples spreading across a lake when touched by a speck of dust. Space did not appear. It wove itself together, strand by strand, like a soft fabric stretching to hold everything that was about to be. Stephen Hawking once wrote, "The universe has not existed forever. Rather, the universe and time itself had a beginning in the Big Bang." But through the eyes of one meditating in darkness, that beginning was not the roar of an explosion. It was the first breath of cosmic life. A breath without sound, only motion. It needed no proof of existence. It was existence. As energy surged outward, the newborn universe was so hot that even light could not escape. Photons collided endlessly within the dense medium, like thoughts unformed inside a mind not yet ready to understand itself. The universe then was a hazy consciousness, brimming with potential, but without self-awareness. And over hundreds of thousands of years, as it slowly cooled, the first particles combined. Protons, neutrons, electrons, the first syllables of the language of being. If humankind is the universe becoming aware of itself, then the Big Bang was the instant it learned to breathe. As space expanded, time began to flow, and light finally emerged. Not only physical light, but the light of awareness. The philosopher Alan Watts once said, "You are an aperture through which the universe is looking at and exploring itself." That sentence is not merely metaphor, it is a literal truth. The breath you are taking right now is part of that same cosmic exhalation from 13.8 billion years ago. The universe was once absolute silence, yet within that silence, a first note was already trembling, like closing your eyes at night and hearing your own heartbeat. Not sound, but rhythm. All life begins this way, from stillness to motion, from silence to resonance. As the poet T.S. Eliot wrote, "We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time." Every beginning, whether of the universe or of a human soul, is a return to the silence that birthed it. When we gaze at the night sky, it is easy to forget that every star was once wrapped inside a point smaller than a grain of dust. We live within the echo of that opening moment, the light from the Big Bang still streaming through space, whispering across every dark corner of the heavens. Scientists call it the cosmic microwave background, but to a quiet mind, it can be called something else: the echo of birth. In that moment, nothing was created by someone. The universe did not try to exist. It simply released itself from silence. And perhaps that is how all life should begin. Not through force, but through permission. When we stop striving, when the mind ceases its noise, what is natural will reveal itself, just as the universe unfolded from the darkness of its own stillness. If the Big Bang was the beginning of everything, then the silence before it is the eternal music underlying all beginnings. We often fear silence, mistaking it for emptiness or absence, yet it is where every possibility is seated. Like in the quiet of night, when all sounds have faded and only breath remains, that is the moment true awareness appears. In meditation, it is said, "Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water." So it was with the universe. Before the Big Bang, it was silent. After the Big Bang, it remained silent. Only now that silence had rhythm. And perhaps that is what every new beginning in our lives is trying to remind us. No light is born from noise. All light arises from accepting stillness. Each time we sit down, inhale deeply and let the mind drift into formlessness, we are touching that same moment, the instant when the universe first opened its eyes, looked around and whispered, "Let there be space." In that breath, the universe was born, and in the breath you are taking now, it is still becoming. In that first instant, after the breath that opened space, something miraculous happened. Darkness began to sing. From the scorching, dense fabric of the young universe, the first particles of light were born. Tiny, transparent photons, infinitely determined. They were released without destination, without fear, guided only by the most primal instinct of existence, to move forward. Physicists call it the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of ancient light born roughly 380,000 years after the Big Bang. That same light still drifts around us today, passing through our skin, through our bodies, touching every atom that composes us. It is the oldest message the universe has ever sent, written in a language of light that no longer belongs to time. Light, as Albert Einstein once said, is the only thing in the universe that knows no rest. It never stops. It never ages. For a photon, time does not flow. Every ray you see from a distant star is a memory, a moment long past, perhaps millions or billions of years old. When we look at the night sky, we do not see the present. We are witnessing the past still traveling. Imagine this. The light from the star you see tonight may have left long before humankind existed. Some stars have already died, yet their light keeps flying, keeps arriving, keeps illuminating the sky. It does not know its home has vanished. It simply continues its journey, faithful to its single mission: to spread. In the vast stillness of the cosmos, light behaves like tireless, wandering souls. Each photon is a particle of memory, a message the universe sends to itself again and again across endless space. As Carl Sagan once said, "We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself." If that is true, then light is the collective memory of the universe, the thread connecting us to everything that has ever been. Light never grows old, yet it carries the age of everything it has touched. It is a silent witness to every beginning, every disappearance, every rebirth of the cosmos. Along its journey, it is bent by gravity, stretched by the expansion of space. But it has never been lost. Each time a photon passes through you, the universe whispers, "I remember." In truth, nothing truly vanishes. Only energy changing form. Light is the purest proof of that. Once it was fire in the stars, then memory in space, and finally, life within us. When you open your eyes to the sunrise, light strikes your retina, creating an electrical pulse that reaches your brain. And you see. But seeing is more than a physical act. It is the continuation of the universe's memory. You are reading light written billions of years ago. As blood carries the memory of ancestors, light carries the memory of the cosmos. It tells the wordless story of endurance, where every ray is a witness to the relentless will of existence, not to be seen, but simply to be. If darkness is waiting, then light is the answer. An answer neither hurried nor loud, quietly threading its way through layers of space, passing through the coldest, loneliest regions of the universe. In meditation, it is said that understanding does not arise from seeking, but from the ability to remain with the light in silence. Like light itself, insight cannot be forced. It spreads only where there is space to pass through. To one who listens to the universe, light is more than a physical phenomenon. It is the breath of awareness. It teaches us this. Everything ever born leaves a trace. Nothing truly disappears. It simply travels beyond our sight. Every emotion, every memory, every thought that has ever appeared in your mind is like light, departing its center, journeying outward forever, becoming the gentle warmth of your inner cosmos. Perhaps that is why people feel peace when gazing at the night sky. Deep down, we recognize something. The light we see out there is the memory within us, reflecting back. We are the observer, and we are also the light being observed. Science can explain the path of photons, measure the temperature of the cosmic background, or calculate the universe's age to billions of years. But meditation teaches something else, that understanding does not come from numbers, but from connection. From knowing we are part of that same voyage of light. The poet Rumi once wrote, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Perhaps the greatest wound of the universe, the breaking open of the Big Bang, was also where the first light was born. Light does not merely illuminate darkness, it proves that every fracture is an opening for life. In silence, we can feel it. Within the darkness of a room, a small ray still slips through. Not loud, not claiming, simply existing. Like the cosmos itself, the human mind shines only when it allows light to pass through, not when it tries to hold it. That light has no age. It is still traveling, still telling stories, still whispering. And in every breath you take, in every glance toward the sky, it reminds you of something simple yet profound. Nothing ever truly ends. Light only goes farther. And somewhere within the endless journey of those ancient photons, a part of you is still flying with them, radiant and never tired. Light was still traveling, slowly filling the darkness it once feared. Within that serene fabric, another miracle began to take shape. The temperature of the universe continued to fall. No longer a sea of chaos and fire, but a gentler realm where matter could finally bond. From that cooling calm, the first two elements emerged, hydrogen and helium. The simplest of all, yet the foundation for everything that would ever exist. They were the seeds of the cosmos, drifting through expanding space like fine dust, waiting for a breath of wind. When gravity began to draw them together, vast clouds of gas formed, growing heavier, hotter, until something extraordinary happened. The cosmic dawn, the first sunrise of the universe. It was the moment when true light was born from the first newborn stars. No longer the cold, ancient glow of the cosmic background, but the light of life itself. Light that burns, gives warmth, and dies only to plant the seeds for those yet to come. A perfect harmony between darkness and illumination, where opposites coexisted like the first heartbeat of a reawakening cosmos. Carl Sagan once said, "The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff." At that very moment, those words became truer than ever. Every carbon atom in the human body, every drop of iron in our blood began in that fire, in those young stars igniting for the first time in endless night. When a star exhales, it releases new elements into space, and those elements, billions of years later, become life, become us, become the breath you are taking now. Imagine the universe as a colossal being just opening its eyes. It inhales, pulling in all the scattered matter, then exhales, releasing the first sparks of light, the first stars. Each star is a breath, a heartbeat of the cosmos, giving rhythm to what was once emptiness. Einstein once said, "Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better." When we look deeply into the universe, we see more than celestial bodies or equations. We see breath, the simplest and most sacred act. Everything breathes, from the human body to the galactic cluster, from a single cell to light itself. Even the expansion of space mirrors the rise and fall of a universal chest, steady, rhythmic, eternal. A breath that never stops, whether in the micro or the infinite. Within every human breath lies that reflection. Inhaling, we receive the world. Exhaling, we return a part of ourselves to it. In this simple act, we are repeating the grand gesture of the universe. You may not realize it, but every breath is a tiny Big Bang, a moment of renewal between the finite and the infinite. When a child is born, the first thing it does is breathe. When a star is born, the first thing it does is exhale light. Perhaps breath is the universal language of existence, a soundless speech that connects all things. In the voice of the cosmos, there is no haste. Everything unfolds slowly, precisely on time. The universe does not rush to form stars or to expand. It meditates within its own breath. That feeling awakens a quiet recognition. Perhaps in our own lives, not everything must be hurried. Existence sometimes means simply being, like hydrogen and helium once were, silently waiting until conditions were right to shine. The first stars blazed, then died. But in their death, New elements were born: carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, the ingredients of life itself. From that death, life was reborn. To die in order to give birth, wrote philosopher Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. That is the secret of creation. The death of stars was not an ending, but the next breath in the endless rhythm of creation. In the moment you take a deep breath, remember, it is not only your lungs that are moving. The universe itself is breathing with you. Space expands with every second, like a chest rising, and in that motion, you are not apart from it. You are part of its rhythm. Scientific truth may sound dry, but in the light of those first stars, it becomes tender. From two of the simplest elements, hydrogen and helium, came all the beauty we now call the universe. Just as a single thought can unfold into countless reflections within the human mind, so too did the universe weave everything: stars, planets, and even the listener hearing this story. From those basic threads, in the stillness of night, if you close your eyes, you may sense something faint, the sound of your breath merging with the distant hum of the cosmos. It is not a sound, but a feeling, the awareness of belonging to something vast, warm and gentle beyond all words. There is no boundary between you and the universe, only two breaths synchronized in the same ancient symphony. The air you inhale now once belonged to stars, traveled across billions of light years, and was woven into the fabric of space itself. When you breathe in, know that you are continuing the universe's first breath. And when you breathe out, let your mind dissolve into that rhythm of expansion, where everything, great or small, joins together in a single eternal whisper. We are still breathing. Space had learned to breathe. The first stars had flared and faded, leaving behind in the darkness tiny fragments of dust, remnants of fire, quiet particles drifting through the sea of night. They seemed meaningless, yet within them lay the memory of dead stars, the seeds of new light. In the infinite silence, the universe began gathering its own broken pieces to continue its story. Amid vast, frigid clouds, so cold that even light seemed to freeze, dust and gas gently collided. Gravity, the invisible yet unwavering pull, began drawing them together. Slowly, patiently, inevitably. Each collision created a hint of warmth. Each vibration made the cloud denser until its heart grew so hot and heavy that light had to be born. Physicists call this stellar formation, the birth of a star. But in the voice of the cosmos, it is more than a process. It is the next breath of life. The moment a star first ignites is not a violent explosion, but a soft sigh from the universe. As if, after billions of years of waiting, it had finally begun to glow from within. Carl Sagan once wrote, "Somewhere, something incredible is waiting to be known." That sentence speaks not only of science, but of the inner journey of every soul. Before each star shines, it too was once a shapeless cloud, suspended between chaos and shadow. So are we. Before we understand ourselves, we drift through doubt, fear, and emptiness. Only when the gravitational pulls of life, pressure, pain, loneliness, draw us inward does the inner core begin to heat. Under the weight of what once terrified us, awareness begins to burn. The universe is no different from the human spirit. It must endure compression, darkness, and collapse before its light can be born. The philosopher Alan Watts once said, "No one is more dangerously insane than one who is sane all the time." Perhaps that is why the universe allows itself to fall into chaos. Because only through collision can something new emerge. Like the stars, we cannot shine through perfection. We shine only through the friction between shadow and longing. In the language of physics, a star forms when its core temperature surpasses millions of degrees, allowing nuclear fusion to begin, where hydrogen merges into helium, releasing energy and light. But in the language of meditation, that is the moment when silence becomes understanding. Light is not something added from outside. It is something that has always been there, waiting for enough heat to appear. The universe, like the mind, does not learn to shine by searching outward, but by enduring long enough to know itself. There are times in life when we resemble that cold, shapeless cloud, drifting, uncertain, circling our own confusion. Then one collision, a heartbreak, a loss, a sudden realization ignites the heart. And in that instant, we shine. Not because we have changed, but because we have softened enough to open. As Rumi once said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Light in the universe and light within us are born the same way, through fractures. Without pressure, no star. Without pain, no awakening. The deeper you look, the clearer it becomes. The universe does not grow merely by expansion. It matures through the evolution of light. Every speck of dust, every invisible particle has its role. Nothing wasted, nothing meaningless. In the grand symphony of creation, even darkness is a necessary note for light to begin its song. The newborn star slowly pushes away its surrounding dust, glowing within the space where it was born. But that light does not only shine outward, it also illuminates the darkness, revealing the beauty of the clouds that once concealed it. For light does not destroy darkness, it gives it meaning. So it is with human life. True clarity does not come from erasing contradictions, but from recognizing that within chaos lies a hidden order. Every fear, every silence, every wound is cosmic dust, waiting to compress, to gather, to reach the pressure it takes to shine. The narrator of this story does not preach or explain, only soothes, breathing with the rhythm of the universe. Let yourself rest in the dark, because it is there that light is preparing to be born. No star is ever made in haste. All radiance requires time, patience, surrender. One day, you too will shine. Not because you have become perfect, but because you have accepted everything that once weighed upon your heart. The star in this story is not merely a point in the sky. It is the metaphor for your own inner luminosity. In the long night of the cosmos, every star is an answer. Every light is a piece of understanding born from darkness. The universe exhales in light. Human beings exhale in awareness. And where the two meet, where breath merges with light, we finally understand no darkness is forever. There's only light learning its way back. The newborn light spread through space, radiant and fragile, like a child taking its first breath. But the farther it traveled, the more it met its oldest companion, darkness. Not an enemy, but a silent friend, present long before anything began. In the vastness between the stars, where light fades and sound dissolves, darkness is not emptiness. It is an embrace. The voids between galaxies are not absolute nothingness. Astronomers call them interstellar voids, sparse regions where matter barely exists. Yet it is precisely these empty spaces that allow us to see light. If the universe were all brightness, no star could ever be noticed. Because of darkness, light becomes visible. Darkness does not steal light. It cradles it gently, like a mother holding her sleeping child. The poet John Keats once wrote, "Darkness is the mother of light," a simple line, yet profoundly true. For without night, there can be no dawn. Everything we see is born from what cannot be seen. In the vast, dark backdrop of the universe, light is but a single note in an endless symphony, and darkness, the boundless harmony that lets it play. If light is speech, darkness is the breath between sentences. If light is day, darkness is the sleep that renews it. The universe doesn't fear the dark, nor does it fear silence. In that stillness, it rests, it listens, it prepares for the next luminous exhale. Between the stars lie regions where light has been traveling for millions of years and still has not arrived. And yet, those places are not lonely. They are profoundly serene. No sound, no motion, only a stillness as tender as meditation. Perhaps in those moments, even the universe sleeps, not gone, only pausing to renew itself. Perhaps, as Carl Jung once said, "In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order." Beneath the stillness of darkness, there's always a hidden structure. Microwaves humming, energy fields rippling, gravity weaving everything into delicate balance. In silence, the universe never stops moving. It simply chooses to move without making noise. From the human view, darkness often means fear, because we cannot see, cannot know, cannot control. But in the language of the cosmos, darkness is rest, the essential balance that lets light exist without exhaustion. If the day never ended, all life would wither. If the mind never slept, awareness would fade. Among bright stars are regions without light, and within those dark folds, new stars are being woven. In the womb of night, gas and dust gather again, preparing for another birth of light. The universe knows how to rest in order to create. That is the wisdom of darkness, to pause, not to end, but to begin again. The writer Joseph Campbell once said, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek." Perhaps darkness is that cave, a chamber of the unknown that also contains the deepest light. Not the light of the eyes, but the light of understanding. In darkness, we learn to feel instead of see, to trust instead of control. If you have ever lain in a quiet night, no sound, no lamp, only your own breathing, you may have noticed something. Darkness does not press down on you. It wraps around you. It softens thought, blurs the world, and in that moment, fear dissolves into rest. The universe does the same. Amid supernovae and galaxies in constant motion, it still preserves zones of eternal silence. Space needs emptiness to keep its rhythm, just as the heart needs a pause between beats. Light and darkness are not opponents. They take turns keeping rhythm for one another. Light expands, darkness retreats. Then they trade places like old friends who understand without words. One shines, the other makes room. One carries life, the other carries rest. If you could see the universe as a song, light would be the soaring notes, and darkness the rests that keep the melody from becoming noise. Their alternation is what makes existence quietly beautiful. Perhaps humans are made from that same rhythm. We need light to awaken and darkness to recover. We need laughter and we need silence. We need movement and we need stillness. In the turning of the cosmos, day and night, brightness and shadow, there are only two breaths of one living being. Darkness does not end the day. It holds space for its return. So when night falls and you close your eyes, know that you are not leaving the world. You are simply coming home to the other half of light. And in that stillness, the universe is still singing, not with sound, but with perfect peace. In the stillness where darkness cradles light, something quiet yet constant continues to move. A force unseen, untouchable, yet present everywhere. Amid billions of drifting stars, within clouds of dust and distant planets, there is an invisible heartbeat that holds all things together. It is gravity, the slow, steady breath of the universe. If light is the voice of the cosmos, then gravity is its heart. Without it, the universe would dissolve into scattered, lonely rays of light, forever drifting apart. This gentle pull keeps everything belonging to everything else, like musical notes bound together within the same score, each rising and falling, near or far, yet harmonizing in one song. Physicists call gravity the curvature of space-time. But under the meditative gaze, it feels closer to love, something that cannot be defined or seen, only felt through connection. It does not shout, it does not cling, it simply exists, quietly ensuring that all things remain together. Albert Einstein once wrote with a playful smile, "Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love." And yet, perhaps he knew. Between physics and emotion lies a profound kinship. Both rely on an invisible attraction. Maybe gravity does not make us love, but love moves by the same law, silent, effortless, and strong enough to bend the world within us. Across the gulf between stars, gravity is the thread that weaves them into galaxies, then ties galaxy to galaxy. The universe knits itself through this mutual pull, just as humans weave life through connection, through glances, words, memories, and understanding. Without gravity, there would be no orbit. Without orbit, everything would drift and disintegrate. And so it is in life. Without connection, rhythm is lost. But the beauty of gravity is this: it never forces. It does not drag objects together. It merely invites them through its presence. In clusters of stars, billions of dust grains move to the same slow rhythm, the rhythm of gravity. Each orbit is a dance where stars and planets do not collide but move together in delicate harmony, a fragile yet graceful balance. The storyteller calls it the slow waltz of creation. That rhythm feels close to meditation. We do not control the breath, we simply observe it. Gravity does the same. It does not command. It just keeps all things where they need to be, allowing the music of the cosmos to continue. If darkness is rest, then gravity is the embrace that makes that rest safe. It keeps the stars from losing one another, the planets on their paths, and our Earth circling just right, close enough to be warm, distant enough not to burn. Such balance is so delicate that a single fraction of deviation would erase all life. The philosopher Pierre Teilhard de Chardin once wrote, "Love is the most universal, the most powerful, and the most mysterious of the cosmic forces." Perhaps he understood that gravity is not merely a physical law, but the deepest metaphor for how the universe loves. No words, no shape, only presence, constant, unspoken, and unwavering. Love like gravity, does not need to be seen to be real. It does not demand or restrain. It creates safe orbits where two beings can exist, circling one another, yet still remaining themselves. If you have ever looked up at the night sky and watched the stars drift quietly, you have witnessed that truth. Those stars are not still. They move in a slow, endless dance. They drift apart, yet remain bound, like two friends no longer side by side, but still sharing the same song. The stars drift apart, the storyteller says, but the song remains whole. That line belongs not only to the cosmos, but also to the distances in human life. No matter how far we travel, how many times we change, there is always a gravity of memory, of affection, of understanding that keeps things from vanishing completely. Gravity teaches us something simple yet profound. Connection does not need to be seen to be real. It can be the quiet between two souls who understand each other. A gentle nod, a feeling of belonging to something larger than oneself. In the still night, when you lie down and feel your body drawn softly toward the earth, think of this. It is not merely physics. It is the embrace of the universe. An invisible hug, just strong enough to keep you from drifting away into the void. The universe exists because of gravity, and we because of love. Both are silent forces, and it is that silence that makes the night whole, keeping the song of existence forever playing. Above, the stars keep drifting, but the song has never stopped. And perhaps within that cosmic rhythm, we too are being held, gently, safely, never truly falling away. Amid the slow symphony of the cosmos, where gravity keeps everything in its gentle rhythm, there are moments when the song deepens, its melody sinking into a lower, almost inaudible tone. There, in the silence between stars, two immense shadows begin to move around each other. No light, no sound, only space bending under the weight of its own attraction. Two black holes, the paradoxical hearts of the universe, orbit one another in absolute darkness. Light, the freest traveler in existence, bows and curves to their will. Nothing escapes their spiral, yet instead of destruction, their motion becomes a dance of silence. Physicists call this phenomenon a black hole merger, the union of two gravitational giants. But through a deeper lens, it is more than a collision of force. It is the meeting of two solitudes. For billions of years, each black hole wandered through the void like a blind traveler carrying its own darkness, until one day they felt the pull of each other, an attraction beyond sight or sound, spoken only through rhythm. Even the void can dance, the storyteller says, and it does so beautifully. That line hums like a lullaby for everything we thought was empty. Because even in the deepest void, there is motion, there is pulse. The universe is never truly still. It breathes through the harmony of opposites. As the two black holes orbit, the space around them twists and ripples like a stretched fabric. Time slows, light stumbles. Every rule we know is tested, yet within the chaos lies a perfect symmetry. Two entities of destruction moving in flawless precision, synchronized to the thousandth of a second. Einstein once said, "The most incomprehensible thing about the universe is that it is comprehensible." Perhaps he was right. For how can one comprehend a scene where darkness dances, where silence creates a rhythm? The universe is not blind chaos. It is art, sculpted in the language of physics. Seen with the mind, there is mass and gravity. Seen with the soul, there are two beings searching for one another across space and time. No words, no eyes, only feeling. A connection so primal, it defies definition. Like two rivers finding their way to meet where both surrender to the sea. The space between them is no longer empty. It vibrates, like the surface of water touched by wind. That vibration cannot be heard by human ears, yet scientists have listened to it through beams of light at LIGO, detecting ripples so faint they stretch space by less than the width of an atom. And yet, fragile as they are, the universe still sings. Perhaps the true music of existence does not lie in sound, but in the oscillation of silence. Like two human souls, they do not always need to speak to understand, only to be silent to the same rhythm. In literature, darkness is often tied to loss and fear. But in the cosmos, darkness is where love happens most quietly. The two black holes cannot see each other, yet they move together, not by choice, but by nature itself. Because every being, by its essence, yearns to touch what remains. The philosopher Alan Watts once wrote, "You and I are all as much continuous with the physical universe as a wave is continuous with the ocean." That thought feels written for this moment, where two black holes, seemingly separate, are but two ripples on the same ocean of space-time. They do not collide, they merge. If you listen with the heart, you might sense something profoundly human in this motion. We too orbit our own paths, sometimes losing each other in the dark, sometimes drawn back by an inexplicable pull. Sometimes all it takes is one shared rhythm, not of words, but of understanding. For millions of years, the two black holes revolve, slowly, patiently, two dancers in the void. No audience, no stage, only the universe as music. And in that solitude lies something beyond language, connection in absolute silence. Not everything profound requires light to be seen. Some truths can only be felt in darkness, where form dissolves and only rhythm remains. These two shadows are not symbols of ending, but testaments to the universe's love for itself. A slow, wordless waltz, a meeting not to destroy, but to become one. And in the stillness of night, perhaps you, too, can hear that rhythm, not with your ears, but with your soul, because sometimes even the void is dancing. In that darkness, the two black holes kept circling each other, closer, faster, until space itself could no longer bear the strain. For a brief instant, there was absolute silence. Then suddenly, the universe trembled, not with sound, but with its very fabric. Waves rippled outward, not through air, not through matter, but through space and time itself. Scientists call this phenomenon gravitational waves. When two black holes merge, they release more energy than billions of suns. Yet there is no explosion, no flame, no burst of light. Instead, that energy becomes ripples moving across the cosmos. Pulses that cannot be heard, only felt. On Earth, billions of light years away, a small group of humans was listening, not with ears, but with light, in a machine called LIGO, Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory. There, they placed mirrors of perfect purity, measuring vibrations smaller than 1,000th the width of a proton. And in that fleeting instant, the universe sent them a song without sound. A tiny vibration, lasting less than a second, passed through the instrument, shifting light by an amount almost impossible to believe. Yet it was enough for humanity to say, "We have heard the universe." No one knows what that sound truly is, but when the scientists translated the data into frequency, they heard a brief chirp, soft, short, like a heartbeat. The universe somehow had just whispered to us. The storyteller calls it the music of space-time, a melody without notes, without players, yet one in which all existence moves, a song that cannot be heard, because we are living inside its rhythm. Listening to gravity, he says, is listening to existence itself. That sentence carries reverence and wonder, because in the song of gravity, we hear something deeper, that the universe has never been silent. It has always been speaking. Humanity has only now learned to be still enough to listen. There is something profoundly meditative in the way gravitational waves exist, unseen, unheard, without color or form, yet touching everything, so subtle that even space itself stretches and contracts in their passing, like breath, continuous, unnoticed, yet sustaining all life. If we could truly hear the music of the universe, it might not be a grand symphony, but a gentle, endless hum, a sound not meant to stir, but to soothe. Within that stillness, we realize we are not alone. Our bodies, our planet, everything we know, all are vibrating in tune with space itself. Albert Einstein first predicted gravitational waves in 1916, but he doubted humanity would ever detect them. The human race, he wrote, may never hear these whispers of space-time. And yet, a century later, humanity did, not with ears, but with patience, with the faith that even silence has its own language. It was not just a triumph of science, but a reminder of the harmony between knowledge and contemplation. Because the greatest revelation was not that the universe sings, but that we have always lived inside its song. If someone were to ask the universe, "Do you have a voice?" it might smile and answer with a soft vibration through every star, every planet, every atom. Everything sings, but without words. In meditation, it is said, silence is not the absence of sound, it is the deepest sound of all. The universe is proving that truth. Silence is not emptiness, it is the foundation of all sound, the original melody upon which every other note is written. Imagine lying still in the night, eyes closed. No noise, only your heartbeat, your breath. Perhaps that is the closest you will ever come to hearing the universe's song, because you are part of that rhythm. From black holes in distant galaxies, through billions of light years, to the invisible ears of LIGO, and into the mind of the listener, the song has traveled, not as sound, but as the vibration of being. Space sings, but needs no audience. Time hums, but needs no measure. Everything, including you, moves within that melody, a song without words, without beginning, without end. Perhaps tonight, you do not need music to fall asleep. Let this silence sing to you. For somewhere, across the infinite dark, the universe is still humming its song, a song with no sound, yet one that makes everything tremble with life. The universe's song without sound is still resonating, rippling through every strand of space-time. Those gravitational waves, born from the moment two black holes became one, never truly disappear. They keep moving, gliding through galaxies, brushing past planets, and continuing into infinity. Too faint now to be noticed, yet still there, the subtlest breath of existence itself. Physicists call this gravitational memory, the universe's way of remembering. Each time a cosmic event occurs, even for a fraction of a second, it leaves behind a tiny wrinkle in the fabric of space. Space never returns to what it was. It remembers. Like cloth once stretched, even when released, the crease remains, a trace of movement that once was. The universe remembers every touch. The narrator speaks it softly, slowly, as if describing the memory of the human heart. Because in truth, the universe and the mind are not so different. Both are woven from vibrations. Both keep every moment that has ever touched them. Einstein once described time not as a flowing river, but as part of the structure of space itself. Past, present, and future are only illusions, even if they are stubborn ones. Perhaps memory is the proof of that truth. Nothing truly passes away. It merely changes form, hiding quietly within space like gravitational waves, fading but never gone. In its depths, the universe does not forget. It holds every motion, every collision, every breath, not in words, but in the faint curvature of its own being. And we too cannot erase memory. We only learn to let it soften. No longer pain, only the gentle pulse of time moving through us. Perhaps the universe's memory is like ours, a kind of energy that never disappears, only becomes quieter, kinder, until it turns into the background of life itself. In meditation, it is said, nothing ever goes away until it has taught us what we need to know. So it is with the cosmos. Every ripple leaves a mark, not to remind us of loss, but to teach us continuity. Imagine space as an invisible ocean. Every great event, a star's explosion, a galactic collision, a black hole's union, sends out waves. They travel outward, fading but never dying. The universe keeps the memory of motion like a vast song in which every note is a touch of creation. In the music of existence, no moment is ever truly forgotten. Only notes that have finished playing, still lingering in the air. Humans are the same. Our old memories, the words, the glances, the losses, seem gone. Yet they live within us still, transformed into heartbeats, breaths, or the faint sensation in the palm of a hand. Carl Jung once wrote, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Yet he also believed that memory does not exist to torment us, but to remind us of the soul's continuity. The universe does the same. It records every touch, but never judges. It simply keeps and remembers and expands. Picture this. Somewhere, billions of light years away, a tiny wave passes through, gently shaking the space around it. That wave, from an ancient moment long ago, may be passing through you right now. Faint, immeasurable, but real. A ripple from the dawn of time, flowing through this very instant, which means you are living inside the memory of the universe. In the quiet of night, we are the same, carrying countless waves of memory from what has been. Some once burned, but now are tender. Some once glowed bright, now linger as soft phosphorescence in the dark. They are not gone, only changed, becoming part of the vast fabric of our lives. The universe does not judge what it remembers. It lets everything coexist. Light and shadow, motion and stillness, beginnings and endings. Perhaps that is how the cosmos forgives. It doesn't erase, it softens. The universe remembers every touch. That line is also a lullaby for the listener lying quietly within the world. No matter what storms you've passed through, what remains are not wounds, but gentle curves within the soul, places where memory no longer weighs you down, but makes you more human. The universe, with all its waves and bends, is reminding you everything that has ever touched you is worth keeping, not to hold forever, but to become the ground for what comes next, like a note dissolving into air to make space for the next one, and yet still echoing faintly in the listener's heart, like the universe itself, forever drifting, yet still here within us, a tender echo that never fades. The waves have traveled far, dissolving into silence, yet the universe still trembles faintly, like the lingering resonance after a song has ended. Gravitational waves do not only carry energy away, they leave a mark, a slight curvature, a delicate wrinkle on the fabric of space-time. No matter how vast space is, it never returns to what it was. The universe remembers. Physicists call this gravitational memory, the memory of space itself. They say every great event, a supernova's explosion or the merger of two black holes, leaves a gentle wound in space-time. Space does not bleed, but it changes. It does not need to retell what happened. It simply keeps it. The Nobel-winning physicist Kip Thorne once said, "Space is not empty. It is alive, vibrating, stretching, and remembering." The words sound like poetry, because perhaps science is sometimes just another way to describe the emotion of the cosmos. Within the fabric of reality, every movement leaves an impression, just as people leave memories upon one another. The storyteller compares it to a smile that lingers after farewell. Time may move on, but the curve of that moment remains, a soft imprint upon the heart of the universe. Even the cosmos has wrinkles of memory, he whispers. Nothing truly disappears. It simply becomes the quieter part of the song. If we could look deep enough into space's structure, we might see countless wrinkles like these. Places where time was once stretched, memories that cannot be erased. The universe is not smooth. It is woven with billions of folds, each one a story, a touch, a transformation. Like the wrinkles on an old face that carry laughter and sorrow, space too bears the creases of memory. The universe ages not because it weakens, but because it has lived so much. Carl Sagan once wrote, "The cosmos is also within us. We are made of star stuff. We are a way for the universe to know itself." If that is true, then every human memory is a small reflection of the universe's own memory. Every sorrow, joy, or loss, all are small ripples within our personal space, each leaving its own wrinkle. Not to hurt us, but to make us real. In physics, gravitational memory is a permanent shift in the structure of space after a gravitational wave has passed. In meditation, memory works the same way. It changes us forever. We can never return to who we were before we loved, before we suffered, before we understood. And that is precisely what allows us to grow deep enough to touch peace. After every disturbance, space does not complain. It simply stretches a little wider, just as the heart learns to expand after loss. Each wrinkle, each trace, each memory, sorrowful or beautiful, opens a new space where light can enter. The poet Rumi once said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." Perhaps the wrinkles of space-time carry the same meaning. Every curve is a place where light finds a new way through, continuing its journey of illumination. Space does not fear being changed, for it is through change that it glows. If you can imagine it, The universe is not a flat mirror, but a pond stirred by a gentle breeze. Even when the surface grows calm again, the ripples continue, widening into infinity. They are no longer visible, but they never truly fade. So it is with us. Everything that has ever touched us, a word, a glance, a memory, leaves a vibration. We may not feel it each day, but it has shaped the inner space we live in. It teaches us to empathize, to pause, to smile when we remember. Perhaps the universe and we are learning the same lesson. Nothing ever truly passes. Everything leaves its rhythm within stillness. These wrinkles are not to be erased. They are proof that there was once movement, once love. If you lie beneath the night sky, know that the light of those distant stars is also a wrinkle in time. Each ray a memory from billions of years ago, still traveling through you. You are not just looking at the sky. You are touching the living memory of the cosmos. And perhaps within every breath and heartbeat of your own, you can sense the same truth, the small ripples that never vanish. Because as the storyteller whispers, even the cosmos has wrinkles of memory. And those wrinkles do not make the universe less beautiful. They make it more human. Across the trembling fabric of space, still quivering with the wrinkles of memory, time does not flow straight like a river. It bends around the places it once touched. Every memory, every vibration, every collision, no matter how small, tilts the current of time ever so slightly, as if even time itself bows before the things that once changed it. In the universe, this phenomenon is known as gravitational lensing. When light passes through a region of space curved by the gravity of a massive object, its path bends. The light is not lost, but appears distorted, delayed, or magnified, letting us see a single star or galaxy in multiple forms, sometimes even as echoes from billions of years in the past. Time, therefore, is not a silent straight line. It is a rippling mirror, reflecting everything it has ever passed through. There are places where time slows, others where it stretches, others where it bends around memory itself. Einstein once wrote, "The distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion." Perhaps he sensed this truth, that time never abandons the past. It simply learns to carry it in a different form. The narrator describes this as a metaphor for the mind. For within each of us, memory behaves like light traveling through curved space, reflecting, distorting, yet sincere. We do not always remember things as they were, but we remember them truly, because the emotion in them was never false. Memory, like bent light, never truly leaves its origin. It circles us, returning in dreams, in familiar sounds, in the scent of late afternoons. Each time we recall, we do not see the past as it was, but as it was shaped within us. Perhaps memories, the narrator whispers, are the way matter keeps loving what is gone. Maybe memory is how matter, or the soul, continues to love what is left, not by holding on, but by allowing time to bend around it. If we think carefully, every love, every loss is a kind of gravitational lensing, an invisible force bending the timeline inside us, letting the past and present touch again. Even after years, a single returning memory can make yesterday feel near. It isn't illusion. It's the curvature of feeling. Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." When we look out at the cosmos, we see light bending. When we look inward, we see memory doing the same. Both remind us that what has passed has not disappeared. It has only changed direction, found new form, so it can still be seen through a different lens. The universe remembers through the curvature of space. Humans remember through the curvature of the heart. Neither is flat, neither perfect. But in that distortion lies depth. If light only traveled straight, we'd never see behind the hidden stars. If memory were only factual, we'd never understand its meaning. In both physics and meditation, there is a rare agreement. Everything precious carries a curve. Space bends with gravity, time bends with memory, the heart bends with love. Imagine somewhere far away, light from a star that died billions of years ago, still looping around galaxies, reflected through layers of space, so that we can still see it shine. That light is no longer now, but it still exists, a witness to a past that never truly left. Human memory is much the same. Things we think have faded are still glowing around us, just from another direction. Through its curvature, space teaches us the art of letting go. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means allowing what has passed to exist freely without pulling it back or resisting it. Like light, to travel far, it must accept being bent. In that acceptance, time softens, memory stops hurting and becomes the breath of a gratitude. No longer why, only once. Perhaps that is how the universe heals itself. Not by erasing its marks, but by bending around them to form more graceful shapes. Every hidden star, every old memory, every healed wound contributes to the present contour of space and of us. Time leaves nothing behind. It simply learns to move around what it loves. And in every curve, the past is still watching, not to pull us back, but to remind us that everything that once existed still shines, just from another angle. Time keeps bending around its memories, as if it too is learning how to walk more slowly. Within that curvature, there is no longer a need to divide past from present, for both breathe within the same rhythm. Everything that has ever happened is still here, softer now, warmer, like light that has traveled far but never been lost. The universe too carries a gentle kind of memory. The gravitational waves of long ago still linger in the fabric of space. Not to retell the story of pain, but to whisper, "It happened, and it made me." Space does not forget, but it does not cling. It keeps only what it needs to become itself. To remember sometimes is not a burden. It is an act of kindness, because like the universe, we cannot forget, but we can learn to remember more gently. The narrator says, "Even pain, when remembered gently, becomes light." That line is not just philosophy. It is the simplest equation of healing. When pain is held with compassion, it dissolves by itself. In the deep silence of space, where the echoes of old waves still hum faintly, the universe seems to be singing a song of acceptance. Every vibration that once was, from a star's explosion, a galactic collision, the death of light, is preserved not because it must be, but because it was once part of something beautiful. So it is with us. We carry memory as the cosmos carries ancient waves, not to suffer, but to understand that everything that ever was has shaped who we are. Nothing truly is meaningless. Every mistake, heartbreak, or tear is a gravitational pull of the soul, drawing us back toward our truest form. Carl Jung once wrote, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." But he also implied that awareness need not stay painful. Once we understand, pain transforms into light, a memory that warms instead of weighs. Like the universe, we do not erase old waves. We simply let them rest within the stillness underneath. In physics, energy is never lost. It only changes form. Perhaps memory follows the same law. What has passed does not vanish. It becomes understanding, compassion, the tenderness behind our gaze toward life. The universe does not try to hold on to what once existed. It simply accepts that nothing is ever truly gone. That acceptance makes it more beautiful, more profound, more serene. So it is with us. Our past does not need to be erased, only seen again in a different light. If you have ever watched a star fade, you know that its dimming is not an end. It is the most compassionate act of energy, turning itself into dust to seed new generations of light. Memory works the same way. It does not pull us backward. It transforms what once hurt into a new understanding. In the quiet of night, between the stars, we can feel this truth, that the universe has never forgotten, but has never been bound by its memories either. It breathes out light and inhales darkness, like a soul at peace with itself. There is a gentleness in remembering without holding. As Rumi said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. When memory becomes a doorway instead of a wall, light can pass through. Pain becomes breath, no longer piercing, only opening. Imagine every human being as a small piece of space, each carrying unique curves, wrinkles, and resonances. Different, yet all singing in the same cosmic symphony. No note is wrong, no memory wasted. Every tone, every touch is needed for the song to go on. The universe does not forget its old waves, and neither must we forget to find peace. Peace does not come from erasing, but from smiling with memory. Sometimes remembering softly is already halfway to healing. The outer universe may seem silent, but within, it still holds the echoes of what has been. Not to repeat them, but to let them shine more gently through every passing second. Like a breath that never ceases, the cosmos continues to keep all that has ever touched it. But no sound within it is sharp anymore. Everything has merged into stillness, a stillness full of memory. And if you listen closely, within that stillness, you might hear a faint sound, the beating of your own heart. For the memory of the universe is, in the end, our own. A song about release, about gratitude, and the quiet kindness of remembering. There are moments when you realize everything does not simply stand upon the universe. It is being held by it. Space is not a still foundation, but a vast, living being, quietly stretching and contracting around every movement that occurs within it. Just as memory bends to keep the imprint of time, space curves to remember existence itself. Einstein changed the way we see the world when he wrote that gravity is not an invisible pulling force, but the curvature of space and time. Matter tells space how to curve, and space tells matter how to move. In that vision, the universe is no longer a stage, it is a dancer. Every star, every planet, every grain of dust bends the space around it, teaching it to move in rhythm with being. The storyteller describes the cosmos as an immense fabric woven of time and energy. When a body rests upon it, the fabric sinks, not because of power, but because of presence. Every motion, from the orbit of a planet to the fall of a raindrop, is space responding tenderly to matter. Each time a star moves, the space around it trembles softly. Like breath spreading in the wind, The universe breathes with every movement. To move, the narrator says, is to teach space how to breathe. The words sound like a lullaby, because in truth, the universe is learning to breathe through us. Perhaps gravity is not merely a physical phenomenon, but the language of connection. It does not pull by force, but by invitation. Gravity does not command the stars to follow. It simply curves the space between them so that everything naturally finds its way back together. Like an invisible embrace, it keeps all things from drifting too far apart. If you gaze long enough at the night sky, you will sense that space is not empty at all. It moves faintly, pulsing like a vast skin breathing under starlight. That feeling dissolves isolation, as if you are lying within the body of a great being, resting, dreaming. And within that dream, every motion, from the spin of a planet to the beat of a heart, is part of a single shared breath. The universe teaches space how to curve, and we teach our bodies how to breathe. Perhaps both are doing the same thing, keeping life flowing. In meditation, it is said that breath is the bridge between body and mind. In physics, we might say curvature is the bridge between space and matter. Both speak of harmony. There is no separation between human and universe. We are smaller versions of the same movement. Some may ask, why does space curve? Einstein would answer, because matter is there. But seen through the eyes of meditation, one might say, because the universe is responding to its own presence. Anything that carries mass, light, or awareness causes reality to bend gently around it. It is strange and humbling to think that simply by being here, we alter the space around us. Each breath, each step, each thought, bending reality in the smallest way, not through effort, but through existence. Gravity, then, becomes a symbol of empathy. The universe's way of listening to every being. Nothing is too small to be forgotten. Nothing too faint to make the fabric tremble. Everything is heard, everything held within that curved embrace. Stephen Hawking once said, "The universe has no edge. It is finite but unbounded." His words describe not only the cosmos, but its quiet compassion. No borders, no peak, no bottom, only an endless holding where everything is kept within a gentle curve. If memories are the wrinkles of time, then gravity is the curvature of kindness. It does not bind to imprison, but to connect. It keeps all things from falling away. Instead, it lets them fall into one another. Imagine a planet drifting through space, not knowing where it goes, until it feels a soft pull, not demanding, just enough to hold. That pull is gravity, but it could just as easily be love. And if you look long enough, you'll see that space is not just a vessel, but a companion to all movement. It bows where there is mass, expands where there is light, curves along the steps of stars, and stays silent where there is shadow. Perhaps within your own breath, part of that rhythm exists too. The space inside your lungs rises and falls. A tiny universe learning to curve. You don't need to understand equations or theories, only to feel that every breath, every step, every motion is a quiet dialogue between you and space itself. The universe is not distant. It is the fabric that holds each heartbeat, each dream, each life. And every time you inhale, even slowly, perhaps you are teaching space how to breathe. Once more, space does not only curve under gravity, it bends our very perception of reality. It is as if the universe, in its subtle wisdom, never wanted us to see only what lies before our eyes, but to look deeper, farther, even through time itself. When light passes through a region of space curved by a massive body, its path changes. That light does not vanish. It simply takes the long way around. Astronomers call this phenomenon gravitational lensing. Through these delicate curves in space-time, they can see galaxies hidden behind others, as if gazing through a mirror of time, witnessing events that happened billions of years ago. In one image taken by the Hubble Space Telescope, arcs of light stretch across the darkness, not camera flaws, but evidence of light itself being bent. The stars that cast that light have long since died, yet their radiance continues, pulled and refracted across the universe, forming illusions so beautiful they feel unreal. Einstein once said, "Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one." Reality, like light, is not perfectly straight. It bends with gravity, with memory, with emotion, and sometimes what we see is merely a different shape of the same truth. Reality bends not to deceive, but to help us see differently. The narrator says, "The line lingers softly, like the universe whispering a lesson to the mind." Reality does not lie to us. It teaches us to look from many angles. Like light, we pass through the curved regions of life, where memory, pain, and hope distort our perception. Some look back at the past and see regret. Others see gratitude. The same memory, two different curves. And perhaps that is necessary. If light were never bent, we would never see hidden galaxies. If emotion did not distort our view, we would never understand the depth of experience. The universe seems to know that truth does not live in straight lines. It lives in gentle curvatures, where light and shadow blend, where seeing and understanding are no longer separate. In psychology, Carl Jung once said, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart." What we perceive outside becomes luminous only when we dare to look through the lens of the inner world, with all its curved regions of fear, hurt, and memory. Like the cosmos, we do not see the world through bare eyes, but through the lens of emotion. When we are joyful, the world expands. When afraid, it contracts. When we love, everything brightens, as if amplified by an invisible lens. Perhaps that is why the universe created gravitational lensing as a grand metaphor. It reminds us that not every illusion is false. Sometimes illusion is the way truth finds its path to us. Light, though bent, never loses its essence. It is still light. We must only learn to look through the curve without fear. The narrator describes space as a soft mirror, one that does not reflect truth rigidly, but interprets it through its bends. As if the universe was saying, "Do not look straight, look with compassion." For only when light takes the long way around do we see what lies hidden. Only when the heart takes the long path through memory, through hurt, through darkness, do we grasp the true meaning of light. Within every person lies such a lens, where reality is shaped by what we've lived through. That is not weakness. It is depth. Just as humanity's largest telescopes rely on curved space to see farther, we must rely on memory and feeling to see ourselves more clearly. Imagine a single ray of light traveling through the universe. It doesn't move straight, yet it never loses its way. It knows that every curve, every delay is part of the journey of seeing. So it is with us. We do not move directly toward understanding. We move through experience in circles and spirals. Eventually, the light arrives, only billions of years late. And so perhaps the things we have not yet understood or forgiven are simply still on their way to awareness. The universe teaches us the art of patience, to see not only with the eyes, but with a heart that already knows reality may bend, may blur, but never without meaning. Reality bends, not to trick us, but to open another dimension of sight, where light curves to reach deeper, and within that very curve, amidst the infinite, we realize space itself is gazing back at a small ray of light, still learning to see with kindness. Light has already curved its way through the folds of space, revealing hidden galaxies and showing us how the universe sees itself. But behind every curve, behind every beam of light, there is a deeper rhythm, the breath of space itself. Space is not still. It pulses, expanding and contracting like the chest of a sleeping giant. Every ripple, every subtle vibration in the fabric of space-time is part of that breath. The universe is not a painting frozen in silence, but a living symphony, where every atom, every photon, every small human thought adds a note to the song. Physicists call the forces that keep this rhythm dark energy and dark matter, invisible elements that together make up over 95% of everything that exists. We cannot see them, yet they dictate the expansion and contraction of space. When dark energy dominates, the universe opens. When dark matter's gravity pulls back, it exhales. That rhythm, inhale, exhale, is the breathing of existence. The narrator calls it the breath between worlds, the breath that links light and darkness, matter and void. Even emptiness hums softly, he says, like a lullaby from the universe itself. Even nothingness has a sound, if only we listen closely enough. Beneath all creation, there is a trembling, not of noise, but of the presence. Amid these vast oscillations, Earth is just a single soft breath, light as the sigh of a child sleeping in the arms of the cosmos. Physicist Brian Greene once wrote, "Empty space is not empty. It's a seething, fluctuating field of possibility. The void is not absence, but potential, a sea of becoming. Every breath the universe takes carries the possibility of new worlds, new forms of life, new ideas waiting to be born." Perhaps that is why meditation always leads us back to the breath. Because breath is the first language of the universe, the motion of silence itself. Inhaling, we receive. Exhaling, we release. Between those two moments lies stillness, the place where we and the cosmos become one. If you lie quietly at night and look up, you will see that the stars are never still. They shimmer, tremble, shifting their light through the thin air, breathing together. There is no perfect stillness anywhere in the universe, only rhythms so slow we mistake them for calm. In the quantum world, even emptiness is alive. Virtual particles, fleeting ghosts of energy, are constantly born and vanish within fractions of a second. They form an unseen orchestra of vibration, turning nothingness into a ceaseless hum. If space itself can breathe, what keeps us from doing the same? Every human breath, in its own way, participates in that cosmic rhythm. When we are anxious, our breathing tightens. When we are at peace, it opens. The universe does the same, swelling when restless, contracting when weary, expanding gently when it finds balance again. Perhaps within each of us lives a fragment of this cosmic rhythm, the grand heartbeat that animates all existence. When we listen to our breath, we are listening to the pulse of the universe. Every vibration, from the expansion of galaxies to the rise and fall of our lungs, shares one truth. There is no stillness without motion, no life without rest. The world opens, then folds. Light travels out, then returns. Everything breathes together in a wordless harmony. Maybe that is what poet Rabindranath Tagore meant when he wrote, "The same stream of life that runs through my veins night and day runs through the world and dances in rhythmic measures. The same current that flows through you flows through the earth, through the most distant stars. There is no boundary between your breath and the breath of space. Only one rhythm, eternal, gentle, compassionate. If you close your eyes right now, let your heartbeat align with that rhythm. Do not try to understand. Just feel that in every breath passing through your lungs lives the vibration of the stars, of dark energy, of the very foundation of the universe. Space is still breathing, softly, like wind across the galaxies. And within that breath, Earth and we are only a single syllable in the endless song of infinity. Amid the universe's breath, there lies something even subtler, a hidden rhythm that only those who truly listen can feel. If the cosmic breath is the drumbeat of infinity, then microscopic vibrations are the faintest notes of existence, the background melody to which all creation hums in tune. From the smallest atom to the grandest galaxy, everything vibrates. Nothing truly stands still. In the quantum world, particles, electrons, protons, quarks never remain in one place. They oscillate at unique frequencies like billions of tiny strings resonating together in the vastness of space. Physicists call this quantum vibration, the background wave of reality, a rhythm no one can hear, yet everything lives within. Physicist Brian Cox once said, "Every atom in your body was once inside a star that exploded. Every atom that makes us was once part of a star. And so it carries within it the ancient pulse of that explosion, a silent memory of the cosmos itself." The narrator likens this vibration to the heartbeat of existence. Steady, patient, eternal. It does not thunder or shout. It can only be felt through stillness. The universe does not shout its song. It whispers it through every atom. Indeed, the cosmos does not scream to prove it's alive. It whispers. Through dust, through breath, through every pulse within us. Even the quiet we perceive as emptiness is the harmony of countless vibrations layered atop one another, the grand symphony of being. In quantum mechanics, scientists discovered that absolute silence does not exist. Even in the deepest vacuum, there remains a faint energy fluctuation called zero-point energy. Space never stops speaking to itself. It murmurs in waves, in quivers, in invisible motion. On a larger scale, galaxies themselves do not rest. They rotate, drift, and dance around cosmic centers in cycles that last billions of years. From the tiniest particle to the largest structure, all are moving to a single shared rhythm. Einstein once wrote, "Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it." If that's true, then the universe is one vast symphony of energy performing itself. Every particle is a note, every vibration a beat, and the interactions between them compose the melody we call reality. In our daily lives, we too move in that rhythm without realizing it. Our heartbeat, our brain waves, our breath, even our footsteps all sync subtly with the frequencies of the universe. When we worry or rush, our personal rhythm drifts. When we meditate and breathe slowly, our bodies begin to synchronize again, aligning with that primordial pulse that everything shares. Scientists call this phenomenon resonance. When two systems vibrate at the same frequency, they amplify one another. Perhaps that is why meditation feels so profoundly connective. In stillness, we return to resonance with the universe's original tempo. Not too fast, not too slow, simply enough to exist. There is a gentle beauty in this idea that life is not noise, but rhythm. Space does not create chaos, it creates music. And humanity, though small, is still part of the orchestra. If you lie still and close your eyes, you might feel yourself vibrating. Not because of your body, but because everything around you is vibrating too. The walls, the air, the light, the earth itself. What we call silence is only motion slowed down until it feels like peace. The universe is not a machine. It is a living symphony. It needs no conductor because every particle, every planet, every person already knows its part. Everything harmonizes without rehearsal. Maybe sleeplessness isn't caused by too much noise in the world, but by forgetting there is a rhythm waiting for us to join. A rhythm we do not need to understand, only to feel. If the universe could speak, it might whisper, "Be still and listen." Even silence has rhythm. In that moment, everything slows. Time melts, space softens, breathing with us. And within those unseen vibrations, we realize we were never outside the music. We simply forgot to listen. The rhythm, the hidden pulse of everything has never stopped, never left, only grown so gentle that it can be heard only by the still. There are rhythms too slow to hear, too vast to feel, yet they are pulsing through every cell of us. The quantum vibrations from the previous chapter, those tiny tremors inside each atom, are not separate from us. They gather, resonate, and become a larger rhythm that travels across space and echoes through time. This is the heartbeat of the universe. Physicists call it the cosmic microwave background, CMB, the afterglow of the Big Bang. Though 13.8 billion years have passed, that trembling has not vanished. It is an ancient echo, a frequency so gentle we cannot hear it, yet it floods everything. In every direction we look, in every stretch of darkness between the stars, that rhythm whispers in light. Carl Sagan once said, "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. We are not only observers of the universe's pulse, we are that pulse." The human body carries the same rhythm. From the heart, from the breath, from cellular oscillations, all of it is an echo of the originating event. If the CMB is space's underlying beat, then our heart is its small replica. Each heartbeat, each breath, each sleep cycle resynchronizes with that cosmic vibration. When we close our eyes and release tension, the body doesn't fall into nothingness. It returns to resonance with the universe's ground note. That rhythm never disappears. It slips into the air, into radio waves, into the sound of rain, and even into our sleep. Each night, as we drift off, The brain shifts into delta waves, low, steady frequencies, the nearest to the universe's own background pace. However small we may be, we breathe in time with the stars. The narrator says, "You are made of that same quiet rhythm." This is not a metaphor. It is a truth. Every atom within you once rang with that first symphony. Each electron circling its nucleus like a planet around a sun keeps faith with the measures of gravity, of energy, of order. We are products of rhythm, not chaos. If we listen carefully, we can sense that all living things are beating together. A mother's heartbeat matches her child's when they hold one another. The earth has its own tempo, the Schumann resonance, the atmosphere's natural oscillation overlapping with the brain's calm state frequencies. There is no divide between biology and cosmology, only one rhythm expressed at many scales. In moments of quiet, when outer sounds fade, the body seems to hear that background trembling, not with ears, but with the soul. Perhaps this is why sleep brings peace, because there we stop resisting the universe's tempo. We return. Stephen Hawking once wrote, "To understand the universe, you must understand frequency." What exists is not defined by shape so much as by rhythm. When we blend with that rhythm, separateness dissolves. There is no us and the universe, only one slow heartbeat sounding everywhere. If you imagine the universe as a living body, the CMB is the lingering beat from its first pulse. It moves outward in silence, reflecting across billions of years, still surrounding us. A steady, unhurried rhythm. The storyteller murmurs, "Listen not with your ears, but with your breath." For in every inhale, you are touching that same vibration. There is nothing to grasp, nothing to understand, only a current to float within. If you look at a CMB map, those mottled blues, yellows, and reds scientists record, you'll see the image of a vast cardiogram. Each fluctuation is a note from the universe's first music. Each time your heart beats, you strike that rhythm again, only now in the shape of a human life. Perhaps that is why the sound of a heartbeat makes us feel safe. It is the first language we ever knew. Before words, before thought, we already understood rhythm. Tonight, in the quiet of space, let your heart fall into that slow measure. Do not imagine anything. Do not reach for meaning. Just breathe gently, as if keeping time with the universe's ground. Somewhere across the sky, that ancient heartbeat still sounds. Silent, steady, tender. It has never stopped. It has only waited for us to listen again. And within that pulse, you will see that you have never been apart from the cosmos. You are its heartbeat. Amid the lingering heartbeat of the cosmos, there exists something smaller, gentler, a listener. Not a human, not a star, but the awareness within silence itself. If the universe has a heartbeat, then silence is the pause between its pulses, the space where every sound, every vibration, every motion is born and dissolves again. From the cosmic breath of space, we move deeper into the still core of existence. There, light and waves disappear, leaving only the feeling of presence. Physicists have long said that the void between particles is never truly empty. It is an ocean of energy, ever shifting, ever humming, with a sound too small for any ear to hear. The narrator calls it the sound of space being alive. When we listen to silence, we are not separating ourselves from the universe. We are returning to its original rhythm. We cease to be observers and become part of what is unfolding. Just as we align with the rhythm of our own heart, we begin to sense the rhythm of everything. Silence is the bridge between motion and peace. Those words breathe through this entire chapter. Silence is not the opposite of movement. It is the bridge connecting both ends of the cosmic song. The place where sound begins and where it rests. If you've ever looked at the ocean on a windless day, you know the waves never truly vanish. They slow, merge, and lose their edges. Silence is the same. It does not erase sound. It holds sound, allowing all things to return to their original state, calm. In space, silence is the only backdrop. Every stellar explosion, every gravitational wave, every echo of the Big Bang ripples through an invisible sea of stillness. Yet, it is that stillness that makes everything possible. Without silence, no sound could ever be heard. Without a pause, no rhythm could continue. As Alan Watts once wrote, "We do not listen to silence, we become it. We do not hear silence, we become silence." In that moment, there is no listener and no sound, only one pulse, slow and endless. The human body mirrors this truth. Between every heartbeat lies a small stillness, so brief we never notice, yet it gives life its form. Between every breath, in the tiny pause between inhale and exhale, lies perfect stillness. In that place, we belong to no action, we simply exist. Perhaps that is why sleep, our deepest stillness, brings us closest to the cosmos. In sleep, the mind stops running, the breath slows, the heart softens, and we drift into the same frequency as space itself. The universe breathes slowly, so do we. The universe quiets, so do we. There is no longer us and everything else, only stillness. The narrator describes it this way: in the quiet, there's a very small sound, the sound of space itself breathing. A sound as fine as a strand of silk, yet enough to remind us that the universe never truly stops. Even when all seems still, there remains a faint inhale, the proof that existence never sleeps. In meditation, it is often said, "Be still, and the universe will reveal itself." Truth doesn't need noise. It needs quiet enough to be heard. When our minds settle, we begin to hear what ears never could, the harmony between inner and outer worlds. In that realization, we understand that silence is not emptiness. It is full of energy, of memory, of the breath of everything that has ever been. From this still foundation, light is born, time begins, and life is breathed into the cosmos. If the universe is a song, then silence is the breath between its verses. It is not an ending, it is preparation. A resting beat that allows everything to begin again, softer, deeper, in harmony. Tonight, if you lie quietly and let all sounds fade into the background, let your heartbeat, your breath, and the silence merge as one. Do not search for meaning. Do not try to understand. Simply listen, not with your ears, but with your presence. For within silence, there is a listener. It is you, and it is also the universe. Both breathing, both resting, both existing. And in that moment, you are no longer hearing about the universe. You are its breath. The silence of the universe is not an ending. It is the pause before another breath. Within that stillness lies a quiet yet irreversible law. Everything slowly falls apart. This is not imperfection, but the natural rhythm of the cosmos. A long, exhaling sigh. Physicists call this entropy. The natural tendency of systems to move from order to disorder. But disorder here does not mean meaningless collapse. It is the process by which energy returns to balance where new beginnings can arise. As physicist Carlo Rovelli once wrote, "The arrow of time is the direction of increasing entropy, the direction in which life and memory unfold." Time flows not because we are losing, but because everything is learning to let go. In every star, this law unfolds slowly and sacredly. At first, a star burns hydrogen, creating energy and light, an inhale. But as its fuel runs out, pressure fades, gravity wins. The star contracts, then explodes, a supernova, scattering itself into the dark. Yet this collapse is not death. It is generosity. From the dust of those stars, new planets, creatures, and light are born. The narrator calls this the exhale of the universe, a letting go, a quiet agreement that nothing can hold forever. Falling apart, he says, is how the universe exhales. And in that breath, the cosmos does not mourn, it gives. Seen through the lens of acceptance, entropy is not loss. It is the art of release. Like a petal falling, not because it has died, but because it is making space for a seed to grow. In human life, the same law moves silently. Every relationship, every emotion, every phase follows entropy's rhythm. It begins, blooms, and softens, so something new can take its place. That is not weakness. It is proof that we are moving in sync with the universe. Perhaps that is why Leonard Cohen once wrote, "There is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in." Cracks, fractures, unravelings. These are the ways light finds its way back. Without decay, there would be no place for illumination to live. Entropy, at its deepest, reminds us that things are beautiful only because they know when to end. The sun must set for night to rise. A heartbeat must rest to beat again. Even breath, the essence of life, requires a pause between inhale and exhale. The universe in this way does not fear endings. It only knows transformation. If you watch a meteor streak briefly across the sky, you'll see perfection in its impermanence. No desire to last longer, no regret. Only the simple act of shining and vanishing. Perhaps that is the purest definition of life. To burn, to dissolve, and to make way for another light. In physics, rising entropy means energy is spreading out, no longer concentrated. But philosophically, that means sharing. Energy is not lost, it is gifted. Every dying star is an offering, every collapse an opening. The narrator whispers, "The universe does not mourn its endings, it transforms them." The cosmos does not grieve what has passed, because it knows that every ending is only a new form of continuation. Every exhale is the beginning of another breath. Carl Jung once said, "There is no coming to consciousness without pain." Like entropy, awakening demands that part of us dissolves. The ego, the illusion, the attachment. Only through that dissolution can light enter. Viewed through entropy's lens, everything happens on time. Nothing lasts forever, but nothing ever truly disappears. Loss is only the rearrangement of energy, the universe exhaling to make room for its next inhale. Perhaps that is why we feel peace when we gaze at the night sky, because we are watching dissolution in the shape of beauty. The light of long dead stars still reaches our eyes, a reminder that disappearance is never the end. Tonight, let that thought cradle you into sleep. Everything you've tried to hold, the work, the worry, the person, is just energy finding new form. There is no need to fight it, no need to cling. For if the universe can exhale without fear of losing itself, so can you. That breath, in the quiet, is your way of keeping rhythm with the stars, falling apart but never lost, only transforming. The universe is never just one long exhale and disappearance. Within the very breath of entropy, where everything seems to fall apart, something miraculous appears. Structure. Under the eye of chaos, order does not vanish, it hides. Scientists call this phenomenon fractal patterns, infinitely self-repeating forms that arise in nature from the shapes of clouds and the paths of rivers to the beating of the human heart. Up close, they look tangled, but from a distance, we recognize a design writing itself out of disorder. Benoit Mandelbrot, father of fractal theory, once said, "Clouds are not spheres, mountains are not cones, coastlines are not circles. Nature does not obey perfect shapes. It lives by random repetition. And yet, within that very randomness lies a deeper law. Everything knows how to self-organize. A fractal is the image of the cosmos observing itself, a fingerprint of the divine, as the narrator puts it. Each time we zoom into a fractal, no matter how far, the same motif returns. It never ends, like the universe, ever expanding, never repeating, yet always pulsing with the same rhythm. Order hides in the spaces between mistakes. The line hums like a lullaby for an anxious mind. For within every deviation, every scatter, there is a hidden tempo keeping all things from falling apart. What we call wrong is only the part we are too close to see in full. If entropy is the universe's exhale, it's letting go. Then the fractal is the fingerprint left by intelligence. As things break down, energy and matter do not dissolve into absolute randomness. They transform into patterns. A river bends around a rock not because it is stopped, but because it is guided. In human life, fractal logic appears where we least expect it. The heart's rhythm, traced on an ECG, is not clockwork regular. It flickers, shimmers, and bears fractal variability. A healthy heart does not beat by rigid metronome. It holds a delicate, life-giving chaos between beats. That very chaos keeps us alive. The rivers of earth flow the same way. Tributaries meander, branch, and reunite, just as blood vessels fork and rejoin within the body. Nature repeats itself across scales. Thus, the narrator calls fractal the hidden language of the universe, where everything, however different, speaks the same structure. A storm, a fern, a nebula. They are refrains of the same geometric hymn. Within the chaos the eye first sees, there is a subtle balance concealed. Imperfection is how order becomes real. As Alan Watts said, the more a thing tends to be permanent, the more it tends to be lifeless. What lives, what is beautiful, what keeps changing, always moves in the unpredicted. Magnify a snowflake and you'll find millions of tiny arms arranged by a single rule, symmetric yet never identical. Each branch carries its own signature, as if the universe was saying, "We share one rhythm, but none of us repeats." The narrator describes fractals as the hidden curves within the universe's breath. From grain of sand to galaxy, each thing bears the form of something larger, not because anyone drew it, but because the universe understands itself through repetition. So too with the human mind, on our most tangled days, beneath overlapping thoughts, a quiet order holds us upright. We may not see it, but it is there. In the way we keep breathing, keep finding reasons to rise, keep learning from mistakes that once felt meaningless. As mathematician Roger Penrose said, there is deep order in what appears random. That truth applies not only to physics, but to feeling. Each time we unravel, each time we are scattered, it is not the end, it is a new fractal forming within us. Chaos, then, is not order's enemy. It is the companion that teaches order how to renew itself. The universe does not choose between the two. It lives by both at once. Perfection arrives precisely through the acceptance of imperfection. Look up at the night sky where stars seem strewn at random, and imagine that even their distribution carries fractal grace. The pattern repeats across scales, from the smallest dust to the largest cluster of galaxies. Everything mirrors something greater. Order hides in the spaces between mistakes, between our errors, between our lost moments. There, order is breathing. What you call being lost today may be a small curve in a larger fractal, one only time will reveal in full. Tonight, in the quiet, let your mind drift into that gentle chaos. Do not force a meaning. Let everything arrange itself. For the universe has never been wrong. It is drawing perfect curves in the language of chance. Within every breath, within every tangle, a pattern is forming. No grasping, no fixing, only looking slowly, deeply, until you see order never left. It has been smiling from within the chaos all along. Amid the infinite fractals of chaos, there is something the universe has always quietly sought. Balance, not stillness, not ending, but harmony within motion. From ordered chaos, energy disperses and spreads, and the cosmos gradually approaches a state where everything slows, softens, but never ceases. Physicists call this thermal equilibrium, the moment when energy is evenly distributed, when no region is hotter or colder, and the universe hums at a steady rhythm, like the slow breath of a colossal being. The narrator compares it to the deep sleep of existence, not death, but the universe's great rest. Galaxies still spin, particles still vibrate, yet all of it unfolds in exquisite agreement, as if the cosmos has found one breath shared among all its parts. Peace is not stillness, it is balance in motion. Peace, then, is not the absence of movement. It is movement in harmony, just as in the human body. The heart beats, the lungs expand, the blood flows. Yet within all that motion, there exists a profound inner calm. In the physical world, equilibrium is the point where entropy reaches its peak. Everything has let go, yet a soft warmth remains. It is like twilight, light fading, but not gone. The sky quiet, but not empty. Here, all opposites dissolve, leaving behind only the silent accord of forces. Albert Einstein once wrote, "A calm and modest life brings more happiness than the pursuit of success combined with constant restlessness." The universe seemed to know this from the beginning, that joy lies not in striving, but in balance. If entropy is the exhale of the universe, equilibrium is the pause between breaths, the instant when the cosmos recognizes itself. Nothing to hold, nothing to create, simply to exist. We see this principle everywhere. In the sea, where waves never stop, yet the surface reflects the sky. In the body, where cells die and are born each moment, yet the self remains whole. In the mind, where thoughts drift endlessly, yet in between them rests the still point we call presence. The narrator says, Balance is the universe's way of remembering kindness. Everything seeks equilibrium, not to erase difference, but to allow coexistence. Light needs shadow to shine. Heat needs cold to flow. Motion needs rest to continue. Without contrast, nothing endures. Balance, therefore, is not perfection. It is forgiveness made manifest. The universe does not eliminate instability. It absorbs it, allowing all things to live together in one rhythm. Look up at the night sky where countless stars quietly fade. Not as darkness devours light, but as light returns to rest. Each star, after billions of years of fire, eventually joins the background warmth of space, not gone, but spread into peace. On the human scale, we long for the same thing, a gentle balance between effort and release. In sleep, the body reaches near perfect internal equilibrium. Temperature lowers, the heart slows, breath deepens. Every organ works together. No struggle, no strain. Perhaps that is how the universe soothes us, by teaching us to move in balance rather than to stop. We do not need stillness to know peace, only the right rhythm of movement. Stephen Hawking once wrote, "Even if the universe seems chaotic, it always trends toward equilibrium." That sentence feels like the final note in entropy's symphony. Everything may unravel, yet an unseen force always draws it back to rhythm. Like music, the universe never ends with noise. It fades into a long, dissolving tone of harmony. That fading is not sorrow, it is completion. Tonight, if you lie in darkness and feel your breath slowing, imagine the universe doing the same. Every galaxy, every grain of dust, every distant light is resting with you in that soft balance. There is no end, no beginning, only balance within motion. Peace does not come from holding your breath. It comes from breathing with everything around you. And if you listen closely, between your heartbeat and your breath, you'll hear what the universe has always known. Peace is not stillness, it is balance in motion. Within the perfect balance of the universe lies a gentle secret. Life exists only because of a slight imbalance. Absolute symmetry never creates life. It creates stillness. The universe understood this, and in its first act of creation, it chose to make one small mistake. From the primordial sea of energy, matter and antimatter were born together. Two perfect reflections across an infinite mirror. One carried positive charge, the other negative. Identical in every way but direction. When they met, they vanished. Not in violence, but in harmony, releasing light. They did not destroy each other. They merged into energy. Yet, in that perfect symmetry, something extraordinary happened. A tiny excess of matter remained. That infinitesimal imbalance, the one part in a billion that did not vanish, became everything. The stars, the planets, the human heart, every breath moving through your lungs. Physicists call it matter-antimatter asymmetry. The narrator calls it something more tender. The mercy of imbalance, an imperfection, yet the first act of compassion in the cosmos. Because if everything had cancelled perfectly, nothing would exist. No light, no sound, no eyes to look upon the night sky. It is because of one small deviation that the universe could breathe. Light only exists because shadow agrees to hold it. The line feels like a whisper from existence itself. Light can only live because shadow consents to cradle it. Just as happiness cannot exist without sorrow, and peace would be meaningless without chaos. In the quiet equilibrium the cosmos had just achieved, imbalance appeared again, not as an error, but as a pulse of creation, like a still pond rippled by a single drop of rain, distorting the surface but giving it life. Scientists still cannot explain why matter triumphed over antimatter, why that one part in a billion survived. But perhaps the answer is not in mathematics, but in the philosophy of being. For in all great things, there is always a small crack, and through that crack, light enters. As Leonard Cohen wrote, there is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. In its first breath, the universe left such a crack, a tiny asymmetry in perfect symmetry. And from that flaw, everything blossomed. Look closely within yourself, and you'll find the same principle. Every human being is a reflection of duality: light and shadow, faith and doubt, love and fear. They do not cancel each other. They sustain each other. Each time you forgive yourself for not being perfect, you echo the universe's first act, accepting asymmetry as sacred. Life, in essence, is the consent of darkness. As the narrator says, the mercy of imbalance is not a flaw. It is a gift. It reminds us that harmony is not found by erasing difference, but by allowing difference to coexist. In physics, if only matter existed, energy would collapse into imbalance. If only antimatter, light would have nowhere to rest. But because of 1 in a billion, a single breath's worth of mercy, the universe endures. That margin of grace, that fraction of compassion, gave birth to galaxies, to time, to consciousness. And perhaps that is our lesson too, that even a small act of kindness, a fraction of patience, a spark of forgiveness can keep the world turning. The narrator whispers, perfection is sterile. Life needs asymmetry. Perfection produces stillness. Imbalance creates motion. The wind itself exists only because of a difference in pressure. Love itself blooms only when two souls are not the same. If you see the universe as a mirror, you will realize that each of us is an imperfect reflection of the whole. Every emotion, every scar, every moment of falling and rising again, these are ripples on the mirror's surface. Smoothness is not the goal. Depth is born from the waves. The universe did not choose perfection, and because of that, we were born. In every unevenness of life, every loss, every unfinished dream, every imperfect corner, there hides an ancient mercy. Light only exists because shadow agrees to hold it. That is not merely physics. It is the first music of life. And tonight, as you close your eyes, remember, you do not need to be perfect to belong. It is your asymmetry, your cracks, your edges, your tender flaws that give light a way in. Because perhaps in those small imperfections, you are reflecting the universe's oldest kindness. Within the slight asymmetry the universe embraced at its birth, there was no war, only conversation. Existence was never a clash of opposites, but an unending dialogue between two reflections of the same being. Physicists describe the cosmos as a dance of dualities, positive and negative, hot and cold, matter and energy, expansion and contraction. None of these forces can exist alone. Each needs the other to be understood. Between them, there is no hostility, only a rhythm, a continuous exchange where one yields to the other in the eternal choreography of balance. Every force listens to its twin. The narrator's words drift like a soft current through awareness. For if we look closely, the universe does not operate through confrontation, but through listening. The negative charge does not defeat the positive one. It calls to it. Attraction is not domination. It is understanding, deep and reciprocal. In nature, every polarity sustains life through tension that is gentle, not violent. Day cannot exist without night. The sun needs darkness to be seen. Between fire and water, there is struggle, yes, but also union. Without fire, water would sleep forever. Without water, fire would consume itself. Modern physics agrees. The cosmos exists in dynamic interplay, not stasis. The universe breathes between extremes, expansion and contraction, creation and decay, its pulse woven from both directions. The Big Bang did not win over stillness. It was the moment the two sides began to sing together. Zoom in far enough, and even at the atomic level, you'll see the same quiet dialogue. Protons and electrons never collide. They orbit, tracing invisible circles around one another. Between them is space. And from that space, the world arises. Perhaps that is nature's most elegant metaphor for respect. A distance wide enough not to consume, close enough to understand. Philosopher Alan Watts once wrote, "Life is not a conflict of opposites, but a dance of complements." Life, like the universe, thrives only when its halves, reason and emotion, light and shadow, learn to speak instead of compete. The contradictions within us are not flaws. They are signs of life. The pull between what we desire and what we fear, between love and hurt, between hope and doubt. That tension is the fuel of meaning. Like the poles of a magnet, they cannot exist apart, and only together do they create force. The universe sustains itself through this quiet dialogue of forces: attraction and repulsion, expansion and collapse, radiance and dark. Every time a star dies, its energy is given away to seed new stars. There is no victory, no defeat, only exchange. The gentle continuity that keeps the cosmos breathing. So too within us, two voices dwell. One reaches toward light, ambition, curiosity, creation. The other toward shadow, rest, reflection, retreat. These are not enemies. They are the two halves of being human. The narrator reminds us, the universe doesn't argue with itself. It listens. Every internal contradiction, every inner debate is not a fight to find who's right. It's an invitation to understand another side of ourselves. Just as electricity flows only when there are two poles, life flows because there are two directions. One pushing, one pulling, one opening, one holding, each essential, each sacred. In meditation, this is called coexistence, the state where opposites dwell together without canceling each other. Anger can coexist with compassion. Fear can live alongside faith. Not because we are weak, but because wholeness requires both notes of the chord. Physicist Niels Bohr captured it perfectly. The opposite of a profound truth may well be another profound truth. The universe's wisdom is paradox. One truth reflecting another, completing the circle. Across all cosmic oppositions, light and shadow, order and entropy, one law holds constant: conversation. The forces never fall silent. They listen, adjust, and rediscover balance. Then the dialogue begins again. That eternal exchange hums through every raindrop, every breath, every heartbeat. It is the hidden language of the universe, spoken in waves, in silence, in rhythm. If you listen tonight, you might feel it. The conversation still unfolding everywhere, in moonlight touching your window, in wind threading through leaves, in the quiet throb of your pulse syncing with the breath of the world. There are no winners, no losers, only two halves learning to understand. Because as the narrator once said, every force listens to its twin, and in the moment they truly listen, life begins again. In the endless dialogue between the universe's opposing sides, a quiet revelation unfolds. Difference is not a fracture in order, but the rhythm of life itself. Everything exists not because it is the same, but because it is not identical. Physicists call it asymmetry, the subtle, almost invisible imbalance that allows galaxies to form, stars to spin, and worlds to breathe. If every force in the cosmos were perfectly equal, nothing would move. There would be no stars, no sound, no pulse of life. Only absolute stillness. Perfect, yes, but soulless. The narrator says, without difference, there is no dance. Without contrast, rhythm cannot exist. Those gentle variations between light and shadow, heat and cold, speed and stillness create the beat of being, the heartbeat of stars, the inhale of planets, the soft ticking of each passing moment. If the universe were music, imperfection would be its tone. Each galaxy, each atom vibrates at its own frequency, and together they form a harmony broader than imagination. In an orchestra, no instrument plays exactly like another. It is precisely their divergence that makes the sound alive. Albert Einstein once wrote, "The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. Beauty is not born from clarity, but from the slight unknown. Just as light shimmers only when it passes through uneven air, the universe glows because of its fluctuations. In nature, every form of life depends on this difference. The temperature gap between earth and air creates wind. The tension between positive and negative charge creates electricity. The imperfections in DNA, tiny mutations, drive evolution forward. Without asymmetry, everything would freeze into stillness. The universe seems to understand that beauty is not in uniformity, but in harmony. Everything is slightly off, yet drawn toward one another, like planets orbiting an unseen center, never touching, never drifting away. Humans are the same. No one is identical, no one wholly right, no one entirely wrong. We collide, misunderstand, and find our way back through the offbeat notes of emotion. Our differences are not walls, they are the expanded range of the same song. John Keats wrote, "Beauty is truth, truth, beauty." Perhaps the truth he meant was not logical perfection, but the fact that we are different. And that difference is what makes life meaningful. Within each person lives a set of dissonant notes. One part wants to move forward, another longs to rest. One part seeks light, another needs darkness to heal. They do not cancel out, they converse. The soul, as the narrator says, breathes through its opposites. It inhales through contradiction and exhales understanding. There are nights when you may feel incomplete, too different, too out of rhythm. Yet, in the universe's language, your dissonance is sacred. You do not need to dissolve to belong. You only need to remember that you are one note in an eternal harmony. The cosmos does not try to fix difference, it sings with it. Each galaxy moves to its own tempo, yet the whole still turns in time. Each wave crashes differently, yet the sea remains calm. True harmony is not sameness, but coexistence in respect. As the narrator softly repeats, "Without difference there is no dance." The words linger like the final breath of a melody, not loud, but lasting. They remind us that peace is not found by erasing contradiction, but by letting the opposites speak to each other. For the soul, like the universe, only truly lives when both halves are heard. Let your differences continue their quiet dialogue. Do not silence them. They are teaching you how to breathe. The universe is not perfect, yet it is breathtakingly beautiful. And perhaps that is why you, with all your differences, are still part of the great song that shimmers among the stars. In the grand symphony of differences the universe plays, there are rare moments when every note falls silent, not because the music has ended, but because even sound needs silence to breathe. And in the vast, ceaseless motion of the cosmos, there exists a secret center, the still point where all movement pauses, yet nothing ceases to exist. Physicists call this the singularity of motion, the point where opposing forces cancel perfectly, creating a pocket of stillness amid chaos. In the heart of every storm, the wind stops. At the center of a whirlpool, the water becomes mirror smooth. This stillness is not the absence of energy, it is energy reconciled. The narrator says, "At the center of every storm lies peace." Peace does not live outside the storm, but within its core, where every force has stopped competing and begun to balance. Even in the chaos of the universe, there are such centers, invisible hearts around which everything turns. In galaxies, they are the orbit's anchor. In atoms, the nucleus. And in human beings, it is consciousness, the unmoving center around which thoughts and emotions spin. If you magnify a hurricane, you'll see countless currents and spirals of motion. Yet, at the very heart lies a perfect dot of calm. That calm is not separate from the storm. It exists because of it. Without turbulence, there would be no center. Without sound, no silence. This is the paradox the universe whispers. Stillness is not the opposite of motion. It is motion's deepest truth. Physicist Richard Feynman once wrote, "Everything is in motion, yet everything remains." The line opens a meditative truth. Movement does not destroy stillness. It sustains it. The universe expands, stars explode, black holes consume light. Yet within all this, there is a neutral point where space, time, and energy dissolve into one breath. The same holds within us. Life whirls, responsibilities, heartbreaks, decisions. Yet deep beneath the noise, there is a quiet chamber untouched by any storm. It isn't hidden, only muffled beneath thought. When you breathe deeply, you begin to sense it. The still point of being. The narrator calls it the still point of existence. There, you do not need to earn peace. Peace is what you are. In celestial systems, this balance is what allows existence. Without gravity's pull, planets would drift into nothingness. If gravity were too strong, they would collapse. Only at equilibrium, between pull and push, between motion and restraint, can an orbit form. From that perfect tension, worlds are born. Perhaps that's why meditation does not teach us to stop moving, but to move within stillness. The body breathes, the heart beats, the universe turns, yet inside, all is calm. A still mind is not one that escapes life, but one that understands. All waves return to the same sea. The chaos above the surface is not separate from the silence below. Beneath every motion lies an ocean, deep, vast, and quietly alive. Carl Jung once wrote, "In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order. Beneath every storm there is structure, beneath every movement a resting point. Even when life whirls you about, there remains that small sacred stillness within, the observer untouched by the turning. Imagine a storm unfurling across the sea, clouds thick, waves bursting wide. Yet at its core, there is no wind, only a clear, hollow circle where you could hear your heartbeat echo against the rhythm of the ocean. That stillness is no accident. It is the architecture of existence. Every motion revolves around an unmoving heart. Planets around the sun, electrons around the nucleus, thoughts around the self. So peace is not found by escaping motion, but by standing in the right place within it. Not by leaving the world, but by finding your center inside it. At the center of every storm lies peace. The line is not about weather. It is about you. Amid the spinning of your life, there is a space no one can touch. The still heart of the soul, eternal, luminous, complete. If you are listening to this tonight, notice your breath. Everything is still moving. Heartbeat, lungs, thoughts, time. Yet somewhere inside, a point remains perfectly still. That is where the universe and you meet. At the heart of the storm, we find stillness. But if we travel even deeper, beyond the pull of all motion, we arrive at a place that is not only still, but weightless. The universe, in its own architecture, hides a quiet truth. Every center is hollow. When astronomers peer into the heart of the Milky Way, they find that its core is not solid, but vast and empty. A space where light, matter, and energy balance so perfectly that they almost cancel each other out. In that void, gravity does not pull, it embraces. Light does not vanish, it floats free. The narrator says, perhaps peace is the gravity of the soul. Perhaps peace is not a force that drags us down, but a presence so complete that everything naturally drifts toward it. The galactic core is not empty from lack, but from fullness beyond holding. Every force, every photon, every vibration has merged into equilibrium. There is no weight there, because there is nothing left to resist. No victory, no defeat. Only a purity so even that the universe itself becomes featherlight. Physicist Stephen Hawking once wrote, "The universe has no center, yet everything revolves around something." The paradox feels true. There is no single fixed point, yet every being, every star carries within it a quiet balance, a place beyond grasp or measure. Inside each of us is that same space, the point where the mind stops falling and the heart stops clinging. In physics, gravity is the rhythm keeper of all things. But at the core of a star system or within a black hole, there exists a region where gravity folds back into itself, a place so complete that it no longer pulls. There, weight disappears, will dissolves, no grasping, no striving, only the surrender of space itself. Maybe this is how the universe teaches the art of letting go. We spend our lives gripping to understand, to control, to preserve, as if holding tightly could keep things from slipping away. But the tighter we hold, the heavier we become. And the heavier we grow, the deeper we sink. Only when we release do we rise. So too with the stars. The heaviest of them burn brightest just before they let go, before they explode into radiance and scatter themselves across space. Every act of creation passes through a moment of release, when form dissolves into freedom and energy returns home. Space itself is not empty. It is alive with invisible fullness. Within the vacuum, physicists find dark energy, the mysterious force that makes up nearly 70% of the cosmos. What appears void is, in truth, the very ground of being. The nothing is the deepest kind of something. The narrator whispers, "Emptiness is not the absence of meaning. It is the space where meaning breathes. The void is not loss. It is womb. It is where the infinite draws its first breath." The human heart follows the same design. On the surface, we are crowded with thoughts, memories, desires. But the deeper we travel inward, the quieter it becomes. There is a hollow chamber where emotion no longer collides, where nothing needs to be chosen, and everything simply is. In meditation, this is known as the empty fullness. The sensation of being completely open, without walls, yet somehow whole. It is the feeling of being no one in particular, yet part of everything that exists, like the center of the cosmos, hollow, yet the home of all things. Carl Sagan once wrote, "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself." Perhaps that is why our lightest moments come not from gaining, but from releasing. When we stop holding, we reflect the universe as it is, unburdened, luminous, free. Imagine yourself drifting in space, no up, no down, no gravity to bind you. There is nothing to hold, nothing to drop. Only your breath, slow and steady, dissolving into the pulse of the stars. That feeling, that weightless awareness, is what the narrator means by the weightless core. It is the invisible heart where all forces cancel, all fears lose their mass, and we return to the original brightness of being. Perhaps peace is the gravity of the soul. Peace does not anchor us, it centers us. Amid the countless pulls of the world, its voices, expectations, and needs, the soul holds its orbit, not through power, not through control, but through the quiet gravity of presence. Perhaps that is the galaxy's final lesson. The center is not the place that has everything, but the place that needs nothing. The lighter we become, the closer we are to truth. The emptier we are, the fuller we become. Tonight, as you lie still and listen to the universe breathe, remember, its heart is not solid, but hollow, and so is yours. The deepest place within you is not where you hold the most, but where you have let go of everything. That is the weightless core, the heart without gravity, the center shared by you and the stars. In the space that seems empty between galaxies, something still binds them together. An invisible lattice called dark matter. Astronomers describe it as a cosmic web, a vast fabric where galaxies do not drift alone, but are held by threads of unseen light. Even as the universe expands endlessly, it remembers how to stay connected to all that was born together. The narrator says, "Connection, not control, keeps the cosmos alive." It is not domination that sustains the universe. It is relationship. From the hollow hearts of galaxies to the interwoven filaments of dark matter, the cosmos is like a living being weaving itself into existence. Across every gulf of distance, there stretch threads of energy so fine they cannot be seen, yet stronger than any force we can make. It is these unseen bonds that allow galaxies, though separated by billions of light years, to still pulse in rhythm. If you could magnify this web, you would see something familiar. A cosmic nervous system, like the human brain. where billions of neurons exchange signals through slender connections. The universe, too, thinks and breathes through its filaments of dark matter. Each galaxy, a bright node of awareness, contributes to a greater consciousness, a living mind of the cosmos. In this view, nothing is ever truly alone. No star, no particle, no soul. No matter how far we travel, we remain tied together by a thread that cannot be seen. Carl Sagan once wrote, "The cosmos is within us. We are made of star stuff." The line speaks not just of matter, but of kinship. If we are made from the same elements as the stars, then we have never really been apart. Science calls this quantum entanglement, when two particles once in contact remain forever linked, reacting in unison no matter the distance between them. The same is true of compassion. When two beings truly touch in kindness, they remain connected even when worlds apart. The narrator compares this bond to kindness itself, unseen yet felt, intangible yet enduring. The universe, he says, was not built on control but on care. The cosmos runs not on domination but on tenderness, the softest force, yet the strongest. Imagine looking up at the night sky. Each star appears as a solitary spark. But if you could see in infrared, you would glimpse delicate strands of light stretching between them. A vast web of glowing filaments binding the heavens into one breathing body. The sky is not a field of separate fires. It is a single organism, alive. And we are no different. Between every distance, between every difference, runs a thread connecting one heart to another. Not through language, not through belief, but through empathy. In physics, dark matter makes up over 27% of the universe's total mass energy. We cannot see it, yet we know it exists because it holds the stars in their dance. In spirit, kindness works the same way. Invisible, immeasurable, yet holding the world together. Albert Einstein once said, "Our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures." Like dark matter, compassion wraps the whole without needing to be seen. This web of connection is the base law of existence. From the charges inside atoms to the orbits of planets, from the neural networks in our minds to the galactic webs in the sky, everything is woven by the same principle: interdependence. Strange, isn't it? The universe expands, yet it does not fall apart. Like the cells of a growing body, galaxies drift apart, yet still share one heartbeat, one origin, one breath. And perhaps that is true for us as well. Though we live separate lives, we are still being woven together by threads of kindness, memory, and understanding. Connection, not control, keeps the cosmos alive. The narrator's words feel like a lullaby from the universe to humankind. You do not need to hold on. You are already being held. Peace does not come from leaving the world, but from realizing you have never truly left it. Everything is suspended by a single invisible thread, one that never breaks, only trembles softly when touched by kindness. Notice it. In every breath, every glance, every gentle word, each one pulls us a little closer to the whole. Because at the deepest level of reality, the universe is not held together by force, but by love. Within the invisible web of the cosmos, the threads connecting galaxies are not the end of the story. The deeper we look, the smaller our gaze becomes. And we begin to see a subtler world where matter ceases to be matter and becomes rhythm. Everything, from dust and stone to light itself, is trembling in an endless dance of energy. Physicists call it string theory, one of the boldest ideas ever proposed about the nature of reality. It suggests that every fundamental particle we know, electron, photon, quark, is not a hard point, but a tiny vibrating string of energy. Each string hums at its own frequency, and that frequency determines what we perceive: light, matter, gravity, even time itself. The narrator whispers, "The universe is made of quiet vibrations, a universe not built from bricks or particles, but from delicate, silent tremors. If you could magnify these strings, they would appear like musical chords in the invisible hands of the cosmos, plucked into existence, resonating the song of being. Each vibration is a note, and all of reality is the great symphony that no one composed, yet everything sings along to. These strings, physicists say, oscillate at the Planck scale, so small that no instrument could ever see them, yet, though invisible, they are what build everything we touch, everything we breathe, and the very air that carries that breath. You could say the universe doesn't just exist, it plays. Every atom, every ripple, every falling drop of water, all are melodies in the same composition. Physicist Brian Greene once wrote, "If string theory is correct, the music of the universe is not metaphorical. It is the literal vibration of reality. If that is true, then existence itself is a living harmony, not a metaphor for one. In this light, life becomes a form of music. Every cell, every heartbeat, every breath, each has its own frequency, its own tone, resonating with the wider song of creation. When we breathe deeply, when the mind is quiet, we are simply tuning back to the symphony we were always a part of." The narrator imagines the universe dancing with its own strings, a choreography unseen, soundless, yet felt. In the rhythm of a heartbeat, in the shimmer of light, in the awareness that flickers behind every thought. Picture yourself listening to a soft melody in a silent room. You can't see the sound waves, but you feel them in the air, on your skin. In the same way, we live inside that vast ocean of vibration. Every second, every breath. The universe is a symphony, and we are not the audience. We are the music itself. Perhaps that is why, in our calmest moments, when we close our eyes and release every noise, we begin to hear that original harmony again. It has no lyrics, no melody, only a gentle frequency filling everything with quiet light. That feeling is not emptiness. It is return. As if in that brief stillness, you and the universe pause just to listen to one another. Nikola Tesla once said, "Everything vibrates, nothing rests, nothing stands still." Every atom, every silence, every moment of thought, all of it vibrates. And if reality is music, then silence is the rest that gives it meaning. Between every pulse, between every atomic beat, there is a tiny pause where energy inhales before exhaling again as light. So it is in life. Amid movement, we must sometimes stop, just long enough to hear ourselves again. The universe is made of quiet vibrations, a whisper that carries the entire philosophy of existence. The universe does not shout to be known. It trembles softly to be felt, and only in stillness can we feel it. Every vibration, every photon, every breath is a small dance of reality. No conductor, no master, only eternal music playing itself. Tonight, when the world falls silent, Listen deeply, not with your ears, but with your stillness. A faint hum, like a breath. That is the universe, dancing softly, endlessly. If every particle in the universe is a tiny vibration, then the human body, built from trillions of atoms, is a vast orchestra performing alongside the cosmic symphony. Every cell, every heartbeat, every electrical pulse in the brain plays its own frequency, like instruments blending in the great composition of life. The narrator says, "You are the melody of stardust finding its rhythm. You are the song of the stars, rediscovering the tempo of your own existence." If the universe is a grand composition, then humanity is the refrain it sings to hear itself again. In medicine, scientists have found that the human heart beats between 60 and 100 times per minute, a steady oscillation that influences every surrounding cell. Brain waves from alpha to theta shift with our emotions, reflecting the frequencies of awareness. Even DNA, the double helix coiled inside every cell, vibrates in its own subtle rhythm, emitting faint oscillations detectable only by ultra-sensitive instruments. This means we do not merely live within music, we are music. Physicist Brian Cox once said, "We are the cosmos made conscious." That phrase carries another truth. Human consciousness is the universe made audible. We are not the listeners standing apart, but the notes that know they are singing. Think about your heartbeat. It does not beat alone. Its rhythm answers to the pulse of earth, to gravity's tug, to the turning of day and night, to the faint cosmic hum that has echoed since the Big Bang. When you breathe, as your chest expands and contracts, you are repeating the ancient rhythm written into space itself. Everything vibrates, nothing rests. Even in sleep, the body plays on. Brain waves slow into gentle theta frequencies, a lullaby written in your genes across billions of years of evolution. The narrator says, "In the quiet of your sleep, the universe remembers its song through you. In peaceful rest, the cosmos recalls its own melody through you." These vibrations are more than biology. They are communication. When two people speak, their brain waves gradually synchronize. When someone laughs, that vibration spreads, quickening the hearts of those who hear. When you listen to a song, your entire body responds in frequency. You don't just hear it, you become it. Just as stars ripple the fabric of space with gravitational waves, your heart stirs the world around you with the frequencies of life, emotion, and love. In stillness, if you place your hand over your chest and feel the beat, you are touching an ancient song, the universe's music written into your blood and breath. Carl Sagan once wrote, "We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Every heartbeat is the universe realizing it still lives." We often think music is something created, but in truth, everything that exists is a song already playing. Every laugh, every drop of water, every beam of light carries its own frequency. Melodies overlapping, harmonizing through space. The narrator says, perhaps consciousness itself is the harmony between matter and motion. Perhaps awareness is the balance where energy learns to listen to itself. When you understand this, loneliness dissolves. You realize you were never separate. In the grand symphony, you are always part of the sound, small yet complete in tone. When you breathe, the universe breathes with you. When you sleep, the universe hums a lullaby through you. When you fall silent, the music continues, through your heart, your cells, your light. You don't need to search for life's rhythm. You are the rhythm. You are the melody of stardust, finding its rhythm. Let those words cradle you into rest, softly, peacefully, wholly. But tonight, in the quiet dark, the universe is singing its ancient song, and you are one of its notes. The music of the universe never repeats itself. Every particle, every star, every living being, all are changing tempo, transforming within the infinite symphony of existence. Every moment, every breath, every small shift inside you is a new note added to the song of the cosmos. The narrator says, change is the only instrument that never stops playing. Change, the one instrument that never falls silent. In the quantum world, particles are never still. They oscillate, transform, vanish, and reappear. That ceaseless motion is the foundation of reality. Even in what seems still, there is subtle movement, like a breeze skimming across a lake, or the faint shift between two heartbeats. Just as the universe never stands still, human beings are not static entities. We are processes in motion. Every cell in your body is being born and dying in rhythm. Billions of chemical reactions beat like invisible drums, creating a melody that is ever new, yet always true to itself. Albert Einstein once said, "Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. To live is to move. To stop changing is to stop existing." The evolution of the universe is not a straight crescendo of notes, but a circular rhythm of harmony and dissonance. Every clash of forces, every tiny imbalance becomes the opening for a new tone to emerge, like jazz, where beauty is found in improvisation. The narrator describes evolution as a dance among vibrations. Life does not move upward, but inward, becoming more refined in its resonance with the whole. There is no ending, only a shift in tempo. Science calls it adaptation, but on a deeper level, it is resonance. When the environment changes, the body responds. When life changes, the mind adjusts its frequency. Change is not the loss of self. It is the discovery of a new octave in which to sing. Even galaxies evolve, rotating slower, shining fainter, and eventually dissolving into space, their energy reborn as new light. There is no absolute death, only a recomposition of matter's melody. Carl Sagan once said, "To live in the hearts we leave behind is to live forever." Perhaps immortality isn't about staying the same, but about letting our resonance continue in others. Like the cosmos, we are defined not by our shape, but by the song of our transformation. Every feeling, every sorrow, every act of release is the universe rewriting its melody through you. When you change, even by a thought, a breath, a moment of compassion, the entire universe shifts with you. Everything is connected by vibration. One new resonance in your heart ripples outward through creation. The narrator says, the universe evolves not by destruction, but by recomposing itself. The universe doesn't grow by breaking. It grows by rewriting. So change is not something to fear. It is the natural rhythm of every symphony, the silence that allows the next note to rise, the pause that gives music its breath. If you listen deeply enough, you'll find that every upheaval in life carries its own rhythm. Nothing is truly off-key. There are only rests where the song regathers itself. And perhaps, in those moments when you feel like you're falling, the universe isn't punishing you. It's changing tempo to find harmony again. Change is the only instrument that never stops playing. That truth belongs not only to collapsing stars or expanding galaxies, but to you. Change is how you remain part of the cosmic orchestra. No one can hear the full symphony, yet everyone contributes a verse. Through living, through pain, through hope, through breath. With the final exhale of each day, the world still sings, "The music needs no beginning, and it will never end." And within that endless harmony, you, small yet irreplaceable, remain a note that never fades. A vibration unique, never repeated, but forever echoing in the sound of becoming. The music of becoming continues, but now the melody no longer plays within a single particle or solitary being. It spreads, connecting billions of galaxies into a vast lattice, like strands of luminous silk weaving the invisible body of the universe. Astronomers call it the cosmic web, a grand structure where light and shadow intertwine, forming the living architecture of existence itself. The narrator calls it a brain dreaming itself awake, a colossal mind dreaming in order to awaken. This is not mere poetry. Through the deep field gaze of the Hubble Space Telescope and immense computer simulations, scientists have found that the universe truly resembles a vast brain. Its neurons are filaments of dark matter, the unseen substance that makes up more than 80% of all cosmic mass. They do not shine, but their gravity leaves traces, binding the stars. The galaxies, trillions of suns, glow like living cells, connected by strands of energy, transmitting the signal of existence across the void. From afar, that light does not appear chaotic. It pulses, like electrical currents within a human brain, like thoughts taking form. Perhaps the universe is thinking, and each galaxy is a slow, radiant idea within its infinite dream. Physicist and philosopher David Bohm once wrote, "Matter is frozen light. Matter, then, is light slowed down, as if reality itself were light learning to think." If that is true, then we, fragile beings on a small blue dot, are not outside that dream. We are the part of light that has learned to awaken. Imagine the universe not as an empty void, but as a living network, woven from light, silence, and memory. Energy flows through these filaments like blood through veins, carrying warmth, information, and the echoes of time. There is no beginning, no end, only movement, spreading like thought through a boundless mind. Scientists estimate that this web spans tens of billions of light years, yet its density is almost unimaginably thin. In every cubic meter of space, there are only a few drifting hydrogen atoms, and yet that fragility is what holds everything together. Just as silence is what allows sound to exist. The narrator whispers, "Between the threads of light, silence holds everything together. Between strands of radiance, it is silence that keeps the world from falling apart." It is a beautiful truth. That space is not a cold, terrifying emptiness, but a kind of compassionate stillness, a vast calm where light is allowed to sing. Every star, every galaxy, every neural spark in the human mind, all are verses in the same cosmic song. Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." That line might have been written for the universe itself. It dreams us, and through us, it awakens. In the quiet of space, light still travels, soft as breath. Each photon moves through the dark, glancing off dark matter filaments like neurons firing in a galactic brain. Over billions of years, those threads have vibrated. Not in sound, but in meaning. Perhaps consciousness is not confined to the human skull. Perhaps it flows across space, between stars, between orbits, between light and silence. The narrator concludes, his voice calm and reverent. The universe is a brain dreaming itself awake. This statement does not need proof, only feeling. For sometimes, in the stillness of night, when you gaze up at the stars, you can sense that something vast is thinking through you. Not in words, not in logic, but in breath and light. That light began billions of years ago, and it still passes through you now. In that instant, you are no longer separate from the whole. You are a single neuron in the great dreaming mind of the cosmos, where light is thought and silence is soul. That silence is not empty. It listens, it connects, it dreams with you. And across the endless sea of dark, light continues to weave the first thoughts of eternity. Within that web of light and silence lies a strange revelation science has begun to uncover. The universe and the human brain share the same shape. Under a microscope, a single neuron looks strikingly like a galaxy suspended within the cosmic web. Both branching, both connecting through slender filaments of energy. From the smallest particle to the largest galactic cluster, the universe seems to be repeating the same design, the architecture of awareness. Physicists and neuroscientists have even placed these two images side by side, the neural map of the human brain and the cosmic web, and found astonishing parallels. Their density ratios, distribution patterns, and interaction frequencies are nearly identical. One is a mind within a body. The other, perhaps, is a mind the size of space itself. No one knows if this is coincidence or proof that consciousness is not confined to our skulls, but spread across the cosmos. The narrator murmurs, "We are small reflections of a thinking cosmos. We are tiny reflections of a universe contemplating itself. If the universe can give rise to beings capable of love, fear, and dreams, then maybe, through us, it is learning to know itself. As Carl Sagan said, we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Each time we look up at the stars, perhaps the universe is looking back through our eyes. Like neurons in a brain, human beings never act alone. Every thought, every emotion, every act of kindness or cruelty sends a signal into the shared field of consciousness. When millions of minds dream, love, and seek meaning together, the cosmos thinks more clearly through us. In Zen thought there is a teaching. To understand the self is to forget the self. When we release the boundaries of ego, we begin to sense ourselves as part of a greater awareness. Not I think, but the universe is thinking through me. This isn't mere mysticism. In quantum physics, each particle exists in many states until observed. Consciousness collapses probability into reality. So the question arises, if there were no observer, would the universe exist as we know it? Or does it only come into being where awareness and energy meet, like two mirrors facing each other? The narrator suggests softly, perhaps consciousness and cosmos are not separate. They are two mirrors facing each other. Imagine each of your thoughts as a spark of light traveling along the universe's vast neural filaments. Every joy, every sorrow, every dream, a ripple through that cosmic web. In the grand symphony of existence, you are one tone, not louder or softer, but essential. Recent studies even show that the human brain consumes and distributes energy much like galaxies distribute mass and light through space. Each decision, each memory is a small gravitational wave of the mind, mirroring the pull and flow between stars. If the inner and outer worlds obey the same laws, then perhaps the divide between human and universe is an illusion, like melody and echo in one song. The narrator whispers, "In every neuron's spark, the universe remembers itself." Seen from afar, the whole network looks like a map of thought expanding endlessly. Galaxies lighting up as ideas, dark spaces resting between them like pauses between breaths. Light and shadow together maintain the rhythm of the greatest contemplation ever to exist. The mind of the cosmos itself. Perhaps that is why we feel connected, even when untouched, because every consciousness is woven from the same thread of light, the same substance of awareness. It doesn't need proof, only attention. In the quiet of your breath, under the faint shimmer of starlight, you are hearing the universe think. Beneath all silence, an idea flows, wordless, formless, moving through the gentle vibration of being. We are small reflections of a thinking cosmos, and in this stillness, more than ever, you may feel it. The universe is not something out there. It is thinking through you. Within the web of light, the filaments that hold the cosmos together do more than shape its structure. They weave the feeling of belonging. Astronomers have long said that although the universe may appear infinite and cold, not a single point within it is truly isolated. Every galaxy, every star, even the smallest photon is bound by invisible threads of gravity, energy, and memory. The narrator whispers, "Every star is a neuron of belonging." Each star, a neuron, pulsing with connection. Science names this vast lattice the cosmic web, but perhaps it is more than a physical map. It is a map of existence where light discovers its reason for being, where each tiny self keeps the great music of the universe playing on. From a distance, we can see it clearly. Galaxies never drift alone. They move in vast clusters, orbiting one another in ancient dance. Even in the immense emptiness between them, faint filaments as thin as breath keep the structure from collapse. Stephen Hawking once wrote, "We are all connected, not just by the laws of physics, but by the curiosity that drives the universe to know itself." We are linked not merely by force, but by wonder, by the desire of creation to understand itself. This means no soul is ever truly lost. Even in silence, hidden in some quiet corner of existence, you remain part of the whole, a single thread in the living map of energy. Loneliness is only the momentary amnesia of connection, a forgetting that you have always been woven into the fabric. Within every breath, your body joins the same cosmic rhythm. Each atom in you was forged in ancient stars. Every photon that touches your eyes began its journey billions of years ago. We do not just live in the universe. We are the universe, alive and aware. Albert Einstein once said, "A human being is a part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. We are small parts of a great totality, and through our smallness, the whole becomes complete." If there were a map tracing the journey of the soul, it would not be drawn with lines, but with connections. Places where light meets light, where memory meets memory. Like the cosmic web itself, each point shines not for itself, but for the light of another. The narrator describes this as a symphony of kindness. You cannot always see it, but you can feel it. The shared rhythm pulsing through space, the invisible harmony that says, "You belong." In the silence of the cosmos, belonging is no longer a concept. It is a sensation of being held, known, and continued. Every beam of light, no matter how distant, reflects another, like the gaze of souls realizing they were never apart. In Eastern philosophy, it is said, a single drop of water still carries the shape of the ocean. The same is true of the universe. Each person is a drop of light within the ocean of consciousness. Even when you feel adrift, you are still vibrating with the same rhythm as billions of stars. The rhythm of existence itself. You may not feel it, but the universe always knows where you are, not through words, not through signs, but through presence. In this grand design, every ray of light has purpose. Every silence has a place. No star is meaningless. No soul is forgotten. The narrator concludes softly, "You have always been a part of the picture. You only need to be still enough to feel it." The map of the universe is not written in language, but in light, resonance, and gratitude. And within it, everything belongs, including you. Across the map of belonging, every thread of light still connects, stretching outward like the final breath of a long, beautiful dream. But as with every breath, even the grandest cycles must one day close. The universe, once ablaze with trillions upon trillions of stars, will eventually reach a moment when its last light fades, not suddenly, but gently, slowly, with a beauty so complete that even time seems to pause to watch. Cosmologists call that moment the heat death of the universe. It is when energy spreads evenly across all of space, when nothing remains to burn, to shine, or to move. The temperature drifts toward absolute zero. Motion slows until there is no longer a difference between hot and cold, light and dark. It is perfect stillness, not through destruction, but through completion. The narrator compares it to a candle exhaling its final breath in peace. Even endings have their own light. That light does not blaze like fireworks. It exhales, softly, kindly, as if whispering thank you. Thank you for the burning, for the brilliance, for the chance to illuminate itself and the world. In this quiet, the universe does not die. It rests. It releases, like a final exhalation after a trillion-year journey. There is no sorrow in this breath, no regret, only the serenity of a vast being that has fulfilled its purpose. Physics calls this moment thermal equilibrium, the perfect balance where all energy is evenly shared. It is nature's ultimate fairness. No more struggle, no more opposites, only stillness deep as meditation. If you listen long enough, you might imagine the universe breathing out one last time, a long, thin sigh expanding across all of space. No new stars are born, but the old light keeps traveling, still telling the story of those who once burned. In philosophy, this is not death, but return. As Alan Watts wrote, "To die is to be born into another form of the same life. Death is only transformation, the reshaping of the same eternal energy. The universe once burst forth in radiant light, the Big Bang, and now it slowly dissolves into quiet darkness, the heat death. But both ends, light and dark, are just two halves of the same breath. There is no loss, only metamorphosis. If you close your eyes and imagine yourself floating in that vast stillness, fear disappears. The end of the universe is not despair, but trust, the peace of letting go. The cosmos exhales one last time, preparing for a new beginning it cannot yet imagine. The final stars, those fading white dwarfs, still glow faintly, like memories unwilling to leave. Their light will travel for billions of years, reaching places where no eyes remain to see. Yet it keeps going, because that is the nature of light. It never stops. Perhaps in that moment, the universe smiles, a quiet smile in the dark, knowing that nothing ever truly ends. Only form changes. Einstein once said, "Energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be changed from one form to another." Energy never dies. It only changes rhythm. So the heat death is not an ending, but the universe's resting pulse, a cosmic sleep where every vibration softens, every memory merges, every echo of time becomes perfect silence. The narrator whispers, his voice light as breath. Even endings have their own light. That last glow is not to be seen, but to be felt. It is the light of peace, of wisdom that has learned to release, of a soul that no longer needs to prove its radiance. In that breath, everything, from the mightiest star to the smallest grain of dust, returns to a single still point. No boundaries, no separateness, only the quiet wholeness of all things. And perhaps the universe is only preparing for its own long sleep, a gentle rest, free of heat, free of motion, leaving behind one final shimmer of light, a soft good night to every soul. In the infinite silence that follows, if you listen closely, you might hear something. A faint sound, like the universe breathing out. And in that breath, it whispers, "Rest now." The light has not died. It has simply gone home. The last light has faded into darkness, leaving behind a silence so vast it feels like the pause between two heartbeats of existence. From that stillness, the universe drifts into its own long sleep. No more motion, no more heat. Only a depth of quiet so complete that even time forgets to move. Cosmologists call this the cosmic rest. The stage that follows after all energy has been evenly distributed. After the final stars have gone dark and the temperature of space has fallen near absolute zero, there are no explosions, no light, no tragedy, only the perfect rest of the whole. The narrator calls this moment the cosmic rest, the pause between two symphonies of creation. If the Big Bang was the universe's first breath in, this is its final breath out, long, soft, and serene. A breath carrying the memory of trillions of light years, of billions of worlds that once burned bright. Now, all of it dissolves into a silence gentle as a blanket embracing space. Silence is the final act of love. Silence is the universe's last gesture of tenderness toward itself. There are no more echoes of creation, no more battles between gravity and energy. Only total agreement, a harmony where everything is allowed to rest. Like a soul finally laying its head down after a long journey with nothing left to prove, nothing left to seek. Science describes it as absolute energetic equilibrium. Every particle, every wave, every vibration finally still. But through the eye of the soul, it is not death, it is sleep, the most sacred state of life. Sleep doesn't erase, it gathers. It holds everything close so that it can be reborn. Just as we fall each night into darkness to awaken renewed, perhaps the universe too is resting, preparing for its next dawn. Carl Jung once wrote, "In all chaos, There is a cosmos, in all disorder, a secret order. Even in the deepest stillness, a seed of creation may already be stirring. The narrator whispers that this sleep is not an ending, but an embrace. The universe holds itself the way a mother holds her child, with peace, with forgiveness, with the fullness of memory. Every current of energy, every vibration, every echo of time folds gently into one unified breath. In its truest sense, silence is not the absence of sound, but the perfect harmony of all frequencies, like the final note of a symphony fading into the air, not disappearing, but becoming the space from which the next music will rise. Perhaps this silence is a promise that one day, in the thick of darkness, a single vibration will awaken, the first particle of a new universe, like a heartbeat returning beneath the eyelids of dawn. Silence is the final act of love, and that love, wordless, infinite, is what allows the universe to rest without fear of loss. If you listen closely, you might feel that rhythm within yourself. Our bodies follow the same pattern: activity, decay, rest, renewal. We are miniature reflections of the cosmic cycle, and every time we close our eyes, we join the great sleep of existence. The narrator smiles, his voice soft as wind over still water. Perhaps sleep is the universe remembering how to love itself. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go, nothing to hold. Only a gentle presence, quiet, kind, glowing faintly like the ember of a candle not yet gone out, keeping the smallest warmth alive. If the Big Bang was the universe's first greeting, then the cosmic rest is its good night. A farewell written not in words, but in stillness, compassion, and acceptance. Imagine in that endless darkness a single faint light still breathing, not to illuminate, but to remind. No ending is truly cold, only love resting. And in the universe's final breath, you can almost hear a lullaby. Sleep now, not as something ending, but as everything returning home. In the universe's long sleep, where no motion stirs, no sound remains, something subtle begins to tremble. It is faint, almost nothing, like the first whisper of a dream forming inside the mind of stillness. No one knows where it begins or why, only that somewhere in the depths of darkness, a tiny vibration awakens. Physicists call this a quantum fluctuation, the spontaneous rise and fall of energy in a vacuum, particles appearing and vanishing like invisible breaths of nothingness. And one of these tiny ripples may become the seed of a new universe, like the first heartbeat sounding within the deep sleep of eternity. From that point, the cycle begins anew. There is no end, only another breath, in another form. The narrator whispers, nothing truly ends, it only rests. This is not merely a theory of physics. It is the universe's own lullaby to itself, a promise that even in death there is life, in stillness, a pulse, and in darkness, a spark preparing to return. As Carl Jung once wrote, in all chaos there is a cosmos, in all death a rebirth. Even when the cosmos sleeps, its dream continues. Within the infinite dark, light has never truly vanished. It is only gathering strength to rise again, just as in human sleep, where images, memories, and feelings rearrange and heal themselves. The universe too dreams of itself, of new stars, of worlds yet unformed, of beings who will one day look up at their skies and ask, where did we come from? In that vision, the cosmos is a circle, without beginning, without end. Every big bang is but a breath in an eternal symphony, every silence merely the pause between two notes. Immanuel Kant once wrote, "The beginning and the end are not points, but transitions of being. Birth and death are not boundaries, they are transformations." The narrator smiles, voice soft as wind on a still lake. Perhaps the universe never dies. It only dreams of itself differently. From within the great sleep, the first tremors ripple outward again. They call to each other, weaving space, weaving time, weaving light. From one quiet breath, a new symphony of creation takes shape. No one watches, no one commands. It is simply the will of existence, rising once more from its own darkness. And somewhere, far away, the first star of a new age flickers, small as a pulse, yet enough to awaken infinity. The universe has slept. Now it awakens in the form of a dream without memory, yet carrying everything: love, loss, wonder, and the gratitude of what once was. You can rest now. The stars are waiting. The whisper is not just for the universe, it is for us. Because within each of us, the cosmos too is sleeping and dreaming. We are the small dreams within the great dream of the universe. And perhaps that is the true meaning of life. Not to last forever, but to continue dreaming. Each human life is a brief cycle of light, burning, fading, and giving birth to light anew. In the final breath of the story, the narrator says nothing more. Only silence, soft as a breeze. A stillness thin as the blink between two dreams. There, nothing ends. Everything flows like a river that never stops, like light forever finding its way home. The universe is dreaming again, and in that dream, all the stars are waiting, not to begin something new, but to remind us nothing truly ends. It is only the return of light. In the end, everything returns to silence. The stars that once blazed across eternity have folded back into stillness, like notes fading after a long and beautiful song. The universe breathes out one last time, not in sorrow, but in peace. What was once expansion becomes rest. What was once light becomes memory. Yet within that quiet, a gentle pulse remains, the promise of another beginning. Perhaps that is how existence endures, not through endless motion, but through its rhythm of sleep and awakening, of dreaming and becoming. Every end, every sigh, every moment of stillness is simply the universe remembering how to love itself again. So tonight, as you drift into your own quiet, remember, you are part of that cosmic rhythm. You are made of the same calm, the same infinite breath. Let go of the noise, the weight, the need to hold on. The stars have never truly gone. They're only resting, just as you are about to. Close your eyes. The universe is dreaming through you now. Good night.